Let me share you some of the chapters that are going to be presented today by our esteemed guests. We will be starting with material and the future. That will be the chapter that is going to be discussed by our eminent experts. So, materials and the future. Let's discuss the key points of this chapter. Every sector, including space, nuclear energy, defense, medical, infrastructure, and utensils, is requiring some kind of metal or alloy for functioning, and this made them a key in every country's development. The material resource has countries like China in rapid economic growth. India has very good deposits of iron ore, manganese ore, best quality bauxite, etc. Even then, we are not producing all variety, quality, and quantity of products from all such mining extracts. According to many Indian material scientists in our nation, the golden triangle of research and development, lab, academia, and industry has not yet emerged. We will truly arrive as a country with advanced material technology when we create effective golden from our own knowledge base. The 13 key areas are as follows: steel, titanium, aluminum, rare earths, composite, ceramic, building materials, photonic material, superconducting materials, polymeric materials, nuclear material, biomaterials as a generic technology, and areas of surface engineering. Materials increase nation strength if utilized, processed, and developed technologically with intense research. We need a connecting, recycling, waste energy siphoning, trade, and quality production implementation. Many short and long-term action require investments by the government and private sector. To attract the private sector, certain policy changes are required. Regarding the metal, I will say one thing. If you're building a sword, you need to know only steel. But if you're building an armor, you need to know many more things about the metal. That is where, if we want to build our strategic strengths, then we need to find out that what our strategic strengths are and what metal we are going to use. So it brings us to our strategic industries. The strategic industries, as Dr. Kalam said, strength respect strength. That's where we are going to build with our strategic industries. The key point from this chapter are like defense strategy. The strategic sector also includes food security, economic security, and they play a vital role in supplementing each other. All those three sectors are complementary, and if one of this sector is weak, other cannot grow. A country takes a long time to develop technological strength. What is important is that it concentrates on a few crucial and critical technologies which can give the described advantage in meeting the kind of economic stability that we require. Strategic industries mainly concern space, defense, atomic energy, and also critical technology areas, which are potential of multiple uses in defense and civilian. Also in commercial sector, we can find these technologies as the space technology is now being used in as a commercial technology, and India has achieved the largest or the highest number of satellites that have been sent to the space, and that has been achieved by ISRO, the Indian Space Research Organization. Expected learning outcomes from this chapter are: a country takes a long time to develop technological strength. What is important is that it concentrates on a few crucial and critical technologies which can give it a described advantage in meeting the kind of economic stability. The indigenous production that we require, the indigenous production is still less, and growing dependence on technology from outside India should be reduced drastically, especially when our technology must be competitive internationally. It is our duty to build the necessary technology today so that the future generations of Indians will have a new world to conquer and not have to struggle with the problems of bridging the past gaps as we are doing today. Where we need to give our future generations a better course of action, a better things to do as we come together, and Most important thing about it is that our growing dependence, the independence that was our first vision that has been achieved by our forefathers, and they have fought drastically and they have fought very passionately for it. And we need to passionately follow our second vision, that is developed India. And that is where we need to follow the ideals of our forefathers, the freedom fighters, and those who built them from 1857 or even before that. Coming to the 10th chapter, healthcare for all, as we are all experiencing the health problems that are today due to COVID-19. So we don't give, don't need to give any place for a disease. That's what over here the Tamil saint poetess has said. Key points or the key takeaway from these chapters are the key combinations such as sanitation against communicable diseases and the technological advances and care against non-communicable are essential for us to achieve. Our vision should be to eradicate before or by 2020 that has been passed. So infectious maternal, parental and nutritional diseases and the vision for health for all Indians should be realizable by or well before 2020. That has Dr. Kalam has said in the chapter. High productivity requires healthy people, and as people's pain and agony, not as files. Similarly, politicians at all levels should learn to look at removal as a part of their duty. That is, everyone's ability is dependent on their health, and one should focus on their health in order to develop, and each and every person should contribute to this sector. Coming to the key learnings, if we want to achieve a developed India, we have to learn to get out of this pitiable state of inaction. If laws, rules, and procedures have to be changed, this should be done. The richer and more powerful sections of our society should realize that the health and of the less privileged countrymen is their problem as well. They can go offshore for cardiac examination or surgery, but they cannot escape an infectious epidemic in India very long. And as we know, this has become a reality in India as COVID-19 we're facing, and no one can run away from it, neither poor nor rich. While the technology development is in our hands, is in the hands of the experts too. We should aid them by living sanitary lifestyle and avoid unsanitary and unnecessary intoxications. We should avoid any of unsanitary things or any of those unnecessary things which lead to health disasters, and we should make our lifestyles and the lifestyles of others sanitary as well to achieve this goal. Coming to the chapter 11, the enabling infrastructure. By enabling, it means it enables other sector to achieve their interconnected goals. That is why what we are going to focus in the enabling infrastructure. Indeed, one's faith is in one's plan, and methods are truly tested when the horizon before one is blackest, as said by our father of the nation, Mahatma Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi. Key points of the chapter are simple. Every sector, including the primary, secondary, and tertiary of economy, are interconnected. The primary sector includes agriculture and its dependence. The secondary sector includes industry and in the related industries for manufacturing and other things. The tertiary sector is mainly dependent on the service sector, which is the major sector in India today. That is why these three sectors are interconnected, and that's we need to focus. The interconnections enable us to run other sectors efficiently and called as the enabling infrastructure. These interconnections that we require, the roads, the connecting air travel, the land travel, as well as the water travel, the river connection project that has been discussed by Dr. Kalam in his books. It is also one of the vital project, as you will find it. When you will be attending the quiz, there will be one question on it. So focus on this particular slide. This will be an important slide for you. Every production center in country should have speedy economic connectivity with other parts of the country. At every center, there has to be more and more value addition. So both domestic and global economics plays physical connectives through rail, road, aircraft, ports, and airports. depend vitally on telecommunication networking. The telecommunication networking has been widely increasing today, while an interconnect development should be adopted. For one sector to grow, other sectors should always grow. If there is no road connectivity, then the goods that is arrived by port will be at the port, and that will increase the delay. Also the same for airports and other connecting medias. Telecommunication is vital because without GPS, we can uh, imagine our life when finding an address. Expected learning outcomes from this chapter. We need enabling infrastructure in order to develop the nation at that this infrastructure should focus on both the lead time or time dependent cost and the cost of creating them. This infrastructure require cost for creating and the lead time. Lead time means the time for which the production is done or the time which leads to production. That is the more important thing we need to discuss because delays cost us, and that's why we need to eliminate delay. And those both of these costs should be discussed, and both of these costs should be eliminated or reduced to certain extent, so that the infrastructure shall provide us with profits and contribute to the development. Infrastructure such as inland water transport, that is the river networking that I was discussing in the last slide, communication enabled transport, that is GPS, as we are also developing our Navi, as ISRO will be giving us in the days to come. Efficient electricity, conventional and renewable. The electric efficiency is also required. We need to focus both in the generation and transmission and distribution sector because we have focused on generation, like there is enough focus on generation, but the transmission and distribution losses are mounting, and that's where we need to focus in order to eliminate the transmission and distribution losses. The rural connectivity, that is one of the pet projects of our late prime minister and also our current prime minister. The rural connectivity should be addressed and developed with a prime focus. Also, the rural India was main focus of Mahatma Gandhi ji. We should we should know that India has innovation and excellent design capabilities. This is where we should identify them instead of looking their connection somewhere else. Like if we are not identifying the innovative people, they will get subjected to the brain drain that has been experienced by our country for many years. That's where we need to focus, and our country will grow, and we will find out that this is where we will be making our difference. Coming to realizing the vision, I have learned to use the word impossible with the greatest caution. Vahan Bon Brown. Key points of this chapter, we have discussed what is the vision in all these 11 chapters before. And the key part in realizing it, we need to make this golden triangle of Punyatmas, Punyadhikaris, and Punyanitas a work. They should work countrywide and find out what should be the action, so that a lot of action can be initiated and promoted at grassroots level. There should be the grassroots level implementation, and all these pure souls, the pure administration and pure leadership should be there for everything. Our industries such as the public sector undertaking or unit, the multinational corporations, small and medium scale industries, the tiny sector including NGOs such as ours, the academics, the R&D labs, government, media, and the people need to take integrated action, focus on all visions. As Dr. Kalam said at the end of this chapter, a billion people are resource for this nation's transformation. Let the young minds blossom, full of thought and the thought of prosperity. Coming to the key learnings, and my last slide, Technological Vision 2020 document contains a rich source of information and action points. We should not wait for general policies to emerge, but launch the demonstration projects. The policies that have been till today are enough. We need to address it by launching the demonstration projects. Wherever there is a government presence, its mode of operation should be made facilitating one, and the policy accountability system should be changed accordingly. There should be accountability, and there should be facilitating government for us. And the one thing that we need at this moment, we have a role for every action and individual aimed at making one developed India. Everyone has a purpose, as every book has ever said, every religious book has ever said, everyone has ever said. So you have your purpose in making India a developed India. This is where I bid you my farewell and invite our COO Nirupam Khadatkar for taking further proceedings and show you what we have done till now. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Shantanu, for giving me the stage. Um, First, I would introduce to the team of CCI who was working behind the whole concept of this, and Sir was one of them. But rather than Sir, who are working, I would show them their faces to you. So, introducing them to you, I would be sharing my screen. 1 minute. Can you ping me?
It's getting there.
Yeah, thank you for that. So, introducing you to the team of CCI. Uh, the program coordinator number one, Ms. Pooja Puzeka ma'am, advisor of CCI. I think there is a problem. Let me share it once again. Rushikesh, I can now, I think my PC is not working properly. Can you share this folder?
Okay, I will do that. Just give me a minute.
Yeah.
I'm starting the sharing now.
Yeah. Thank you. you just put it in full screen mode?
Yes, I have.
Yeah, thank you. So coming up to the first coordinator of the program is Pooja Pusdaka ma'am, advisor, Center for Creativity and Innovations. Going on to the second one, Mr. Dinesh Dote, he is also the advisor of Center for Creativity and Innovations, and this both people advises us whenever we need, whenever there is a need of any kind of advice. There are these two the pillars of the CCI who always advises us, and there is the foremost one person that you can see on the screen, that Dr. Prashant Kadu. He's always there to support us, but these two guys are there who always keeps the watch on the core team who is working on everything of CCI and guides us whenever we fail. So going up to the next is one and only our CEO, Rishikesh Kadu. He is the Chief Executive Officer of Center for Creativity and Innovations. He brings up new activities and CCI and guides us in better organization of each and every functions, and organizes each and everything for us in a better way so that we can gain the heights what CCI is right now. Next, going up to our CTO, which is Chief Technology Officer, Mr. Shantanu Mungate. He is the one bringing up each and every bit of technology in CCI. He brings up very, very creative things related to technology. He is the one who drafts best things out of the scratch and makes the CCI look better in world. So that's the work of us. And at last, me, who is the Chief Operational Officer right now and Center for Creativity and Innovations. I operate all the things, and I'm responsible for the every bit of operations going on in CCI. So that's about the team. Rishikesh, can you give me the presenter slide that the problem which was solved has been solved? I would share the movie to them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yana Rupamittas. Yes. Is there any sound in the video?
Yeah, there is.
Yeah, we can hear it now.
Yeah, that was the video from my side. Rishikesh, I cannot stop presenting. Take the presenters right from me so that I can. Yeah, thank you.
It was a lovely introduction of a whole team. It is really nice working with you all. Sai ma'am, you can take the space forward.
Thank you so much, Rishikesh. I would like to start with a beautiful quote given by Steve Jobs. He believes that if you're working exciting that you really care about, you don't have to be pushed. The vision pulls you up. So let's start this evening with a motive and a vision to learn something new today. A very good evening to one and all present here. I take immense pleasure of being your host this evening on the third day of the grand finale for APJ Abdul Kalam's Vision India 2020, Diamonds and Gems. And we are having some of them here today to build this event. With on behalf of CCI, Center for Creativity and Innovations under Vidarbha Youth Organization, I would like to welcome the chief guest of today's program, Honorable Abhijit Vanzari, Member of Legislative Council, Graduate Constituency Nagpur, Honorable Principal of Abha Gaikwad Patil College of Engineering Nagpur, and the founder of CCI, Center for Creativity and Innovations, Dr. Prashant Kadu. Our eminent speakers and experts for today, Honorable Mr. Avinash Arankare, ex-Deputy Director ARAI, Honorable Dr. Abhay Datarkar, Professor and Head, Department of Craniomaxillofacial and Oral Surgery, Government Dental College and Hospital, Nagpur, Honorable Father Dr. George A.K. He is a research scholar of Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam and Professor of St. Vincent Pallotti Engineering College, Nagpur. He, our special guest, Mr. Bharat Ganesh Pure, a renowned Marathi film actor, all state of nation and organization, teachers, students, and all the other staff members of our organization. I once again welcome you all. You all have been gracious enough to join us this evening on the third day of our grand finale of Movement for APJ Abdul Kalam's Vision India 2020. I would like to thank everyone for taking the time out a heavy schedule and marking a spectacular evening with your glorious presence. Thank you so much. The vision of Center for Creativity organization is to establish an ecosystem for generating opportunities based on creativity and innovations towards sustainability, and the mission is to empower youth with spirit of consciousness. We are organizing this event in the memory of Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. He believed that youth are the leaders of the nation. So this is why Center for Creativity and Innovations has came up with this thought of organizing a 3-day event on his vision India 2020, which consists of 12 different chapters. The event is based on the book India 2020 written by late APJ Abdul Kalam. The book strongly advocates an action plan to develop into a strong and developed nation, aiming to spread awareness, help understand and involve every substrate of the society for the vision of India 2020. To welcome is to show honor. To welcome is to establish integrity. Ladies and gentlemen, now it's time to introduce the dynamic personality and a prime mover of this event, who is also the founder of Creative Center for Creativity and Innovations, Nagpur, Honorable Dr. Prashant Kadu. He believes on mission-driven. This activity is his brainchild on educating various students to inculcate innovative ideas and march towards it to accomplish the vision of Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. He feels that there is a lot of difference between an individual and a national vision. He also believes that India cannot reach the apex without proper mapping of an individual and a national vision. Now I would like to read out the biodata of Sir. Dr. Prashant Karu has done his PhD in Mechanical Engineering and Technology faculty. He has a vast experience of 24 years in the teaching field. The enthusiastic administrator who advocates for implementing students and faculty by continuous programs focused on raising project-based learning skills and problem-solving attitude in people. Currently, he is the principal of Abha Gaikwad Patil College of Engineering from past 3 years. He is the founder of Creativity and Innovations Nagpur, and he also handles an added responsibility of Director, Innovation, Incubation and Linkages for Gaikwad Patil Group of Institutions, Nagpur. He is the founder and convener of Mayor Innovation Council, which is first of its kind in India, whose aim is to motivate and incubate the ideas of young minds. He was the Senate member of RTMNU during 2004 to 2010, member of Yuva Dhoran Samiti of RTMNU and BOS member of research experience too. He has worked as a researcher with AICT RPS for 4 years and he has sponsored project at Mahindra and Mahindra for 2 years and Sai Agro Industries for 3 patents on his name. He has guided 26 undergraduate projects, 12 postgraduate projects, 15 international journals, 7 international conferences, 12 national journals, and 10 national conferences. He is the philanthropist from the age of 18 and he is a strong advocate of innovation-driven society and taking workshops and seminars on innovation, incubation, and entrepreneurship. He's a motivational speaker, counselor who has given more than 1,000 plus speeches at national and international level. This was a short introduction about Sir, and now I would like to request you, Sir, to please give the opening remark. Please, Sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Saili, for a beautiful and little lengthy introduction of mine. Good evening, all. Dear friends, Dr. Kalam always used to say, dream, dream, dream. Dream transform into thoughts, and thoughts result into action, as rightly said by Saili. The whole intention of organizing this program, that is the grand finale of a moment for Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam's vision India 2020. Before going ahead, I must welcome on behalf of Center for Creativity and Innovation on my personal behalf, the chief guest of today's program, Advocate Vijit Vanjari, MLC Graduate Consultancy. We find it suitable because he is
Producer will be with us in a moment.
am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Am I audible, Saili?
Yes, yes, sir. You are audible, sir.
Saili, am I audible?
Sir.
Okay, okay. Sorry, there was some connectivity issue. Dear friends, I continue with the program, my opening remark. At the outset, I welcome the chief guest of today's program, Advocate Abhijit Vanjari, the MLC for Graduate Consultancy Nagpur. The expert speaker the ex-deputy director ARAI Pune, Mr. Avinash Arankalle, renowned Dr. Abhay Tatarkar, a man who worked with Kalam actually, who has experience working of Kalam and did his PhD under the able guidance of a great visionary for the nation, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, Father Dr. A.K. George. Other eminent participant, I see directors, professors, principals are also participating. Welcome, sir, on behalf of Center for Creativity and Innovation. And the foremost important, dear youth participant. Friends, first of all, let me propose here why we organize this program. Friends, when I met Dr. Kalam in the year November 2003, I experienced different kind of charisma within him. When I see him first time, automatically the tears came in my eyes, and then I was amazed. Why did it happen to me? It was just a different kind of impulse, the kind of electrifying energy that has put some innovation spirit within me, and from that day I started working on Kalam. And then while coming from Delhi, I got this book, and then started reading on this book. On the very first page of the book, it is written why Kalam has written this book. It goes like it is a book written in response to a question by one of a student, a 10-year girl student. When Kalam asked her a question after a program, Kalam asked a question to her likewise. I read for you. What is your ambition? And the answer given by the girl, which is written in this book, is I want to live in developed India. And then Kalam started working and then presented this fantastic book. And dear friends, there are so many praise for this book. I am reading one praise for you, presented by a pioneer publication, Kalam with Rajan. This book is written by Dr. Kalam with Professor Y.S. Rajan. Kalam with Rajan seeks to inspire the nation to think big. I repeat, inspire the nation to think big and pursue ambitious plans. Friends, with this quote, I get inspired and gone through book and then found it's a big book, better than any holy book. It's a book everyone should work on that. And then I started working on different activities. I organized so many different activities. And then coming to 2020, when before like in December 2019, Team CCI thought of 2020 is going to be there next year. December 19, we thought, why can't we organize a big activity on all 12 chapters of this book every month? And that's why we started a movement for Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam's Vision India 2020. Rightly presented by the COO of this organization. We have conducted open book reading sessions at open places like one of the beautiful lake in Nagpur. We have taken hundreds of copies of this book, distributed to the people, asked them to read. In the background, we have kept a beautiful melodious sound of our own Basriwala, our own guitarist, a team member, and we sing together the song of youth given by Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam to motivate the youth. Friends, any country cannot be developed until its every stakeholder goes with the developmental agendas. If you take an example, Japan or Israel, Japan destroyed in 1945, but still regained its original like strength only when the people of the nation go like taken the vision of the nation as their own vision. With this right spirit, we have started this moment. During this 3 days program, this is the third day of this grand finale. I would like to inform to the August gathering. During this 3 days, on very first day, we had the Youth Welfare Minister for Maharashtra Government, Honorable Sri Sunil Jikedar. He motivated, during the inaugural speech to the youth, don't get used by technology. Let's use the technology for the betterment of mankind. Later on, the different experts on first day have presented 4 chapters. Professor Sanjay Khadakkar have presented his thought on first chapter, Can India be a Developed Nation? And then he covered history, complete history. And then next, Dr. K.C. Vora presented his expert lecture in line with this book about envisioning the technology vision 2020. And then a man who is driving Unnat Bharat Abhiyan, who worked with Kalam, for writing this chapter, 4th chapter of the book, Professor V.K. Vijay presented the presentation on 4th chapter, Agriculture, Food and Processing. Next day, yesterday, together with AICD Chairman Honorable Professor Anil Sahasrabudhe, he presented the complete thing on role of education in like achieving the goal of Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, Vision 2020. Then presented, next chapter was presented by TICT advisor Professor Dilip Mankhede, and then eminent professor who happened to be academician, now he's in industry, presented next chapter on manufacturing for the future. Today we will be dealing with the remaining chapter. First of all, Professor Avinash Arankale will be talking about the material for future. He has worked with ARAI, and the chapter deals so many things. He will be briefing. Then later on, Dr. Abhay Datarkar will be presenting the health chapter on health for all. The last will be Dr. A person who worked with Kalam, Father Dr. George, will be sharing his experience with Kalam together with the last chapter 12, realizing the dream India, like realizing the vision envisioned by Dr. Kalam. Friends, this is the whole scenario. What I urge to you all, let us try to get some kind of different vision through this knowledge festival. There are different festivals. In Corona, we have missed so many festivals, but this virtual or online kind of festival will help you in making your own dream in line with the dream of the nation. मित्रांनो, आपल्या स्वतःची समृद्धी करत असताना वैचारिक समृद्धी झाल्याशिवाय कुठलीही समृद्धी होऊ शकत नाही. I take a pardon with other esteemed dignitaries who can't understand Marathi, but I will take this point to speak in Marathi for 2-3 lines, because it must go to the people, because my vision is to make every kind of activity as a people's vision, people's movement. Therefore, friends, जोपर्यंत आपण एखादं काम करत असताना, एखाद्या डेव्हलपमेंटची गोष्ट करत असताना स्वतःची वैचारिक समृद्धी करून घेत नाही, तोपर्यंत आपण कुठलाही मोस्ट इम्पॉर्टंट गोष्ट अचीव करू शकत नाही. आणि वैचारिक समृद्धी करिता अशा प्रकारचे एक प्लॅटफॉर्म, अशा प्रकारचे एक सामूहिक प्लॅटफॉर्म, व्यासपीठ आपल्यासमोर असणं आवश्यक आहे आणि ते व्यासपीठ देण्याचा प्रयत्न सेंटर फॉर क्रिएटिव्हिटी अँड इनोव्हेशनच्या माध्यमातून केला आहे. या 12 चॅप्टर मधून तुम्हाला काय मिळते काय नाही हे तुम्ही तुमचं ठरवावं. पण हे ठरवत असताना माझ्या देशाची काय प्रगतीची लाईन आहे, त्या प्रगतीच्या लाईन सोबत माझ्या ऍक्टिव्हिटी कशा केल्या जाऊ शकतात. जसं डॉक्टर कलाम साहेब म्हणतात आहे की ड्रीम 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 ट्रान्सफॉर्म इनटू थॉट्स अँड थॉट्स रिझल्ट इनटू ऍक्शन. ऍक्शन तुमच्या ऍक्शन देशाच्या विकासासाठी कशा येऊ शकतात हा एक प्रयत्न आहे. तुम्ही या सगळ्या प्रयत्नांमध्ये चांगल्या प्रकारे जॉईन व्हा एवढीच अपेक्षा करतो. Let us make this grand finale a grand finale in real sense by planning something good, positive for the next year 2021. Because this year, because of the COVID, we got a little bit of frustration. We put ourselves in the some kind of negative thoughts. But let us make 2021 a different kind of year for this country, because we have different opportunities to after this COVID came to this nation. Let us make this grand finale successful by having intellectual involvement in all the activities of Center for Creativity and Innovation. Thank you very much for patient listening. Let us unite to transform India into a developed country in line with Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam vision. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for motivating our participants and spreading the positive energy amongst us. We'll surely have a great finale today. Beautiful quote given by Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. He believes that there are two rules for peaceful life. Passion in failure should never go to heart, and ego in success should never go to brain. To introduce the renowned personality, Honorable Mr. Avinash Arankar, who is going to deliver an expert talk on the topic material and the future. To start with his biodata, Sir has completed his MTech from IIT Mumbai. He has a total experience of 42 years. He has served at ARAI for 27 years, Pune, as Deputy Director, and he has published 75 technical papers presented at national and international forums. He has conducted various engineering programs, courses, and trainings till date. Talking about his achievements, he has an experience of over 34 years in automotive materials, selection process, failure analysis, testing, and looks forward to disseminate knowledge as a faculty on these topics and work as consultant advisor to engineering industry. This was a small introduction about Sir, and now I would like to request you, Sir, to please motivate our participants by sharing your thoughts and experiences on the topic material and the future. Over to you, sir.
Hello, am I audible? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, I hope I'm audible to all of you. My mic was mute. Good evening, everybody, and I must give a lot of thanks to Dr. Prashant Kute for giving me an opportunity to be here with all of you in sharing my experience, my knowledge in the field of materials and technology with respect to the vision 2020 laid down by our ex-president Dr. Abdul Kalam. Can we have my presentation here? Mr. Hello? Can you make my presentation? Yeah.
Yeah, sure, sir.
So, talking about this particular topic on material, it's one of the excellent chapter, which I would say I read it in somewhere in 2001, 2002. ARA normally conducts a international symposium on automotive technology every alternate year. And during one of this program, our ex-director said that we should have a vision of 2020, which is put up by the Dr. Abdul Kalam for our country. So he had circulated the book on behalf of ARA to almost every participant of SIAT 2020, SIAT function in 2001, where that book was given to everyone and was asked to read by every participant. In reality, I had gone through that book at least for once or twice, but I will focus today my whole presentation to only to my material and manufacturing. Do you have my slides with you in present to show it? Siley,
Sir,
you
just
are
give
able
us
to
a
yeah,
just
Sorry, ma'am, we just need a few seconds, just few seconds.
sure, sure.
okay, okay.
Okay.
So when we are talking of this creative center of creativity and innovation, I would say it's a very good thinking process which Dr. Prashant had put up in front of all these young generation. That let's have at the end of year 2020, what Dr. Abdul Kalam said, what we achieved so far, and how we should go ahead with this program. So in that, I would say good idea behind it that really to put up all the 12 chapters in front of all the participants, the young generations, and if these views are taken properly by our next generation, I'm sure we can dream and dream and dream and say that our dream is true to have a developed country. And we live, as what he said in his presentation, Dr. Prashant, that a young child saying that I would like to stay in my dream developed country. I'm sure about it. So let me talk about the materials. Yeah, we'll go to the next slide directly. Will you please go to next? Yeah. What the quotation, what Dr. Prashant Kadu said is that dream is not that which we see and during the sleep, but what we should convert it into a reality is the real action we are required, and that is what our Dr. Abdul Kalam said in 2013. Similarly, when I am talking about the materials, one of the modern India, if we have to see, what we require is a light waving technology. And really speaking, about 100 years back, Dr. Henry Ford also said in one of his speech that more the vehicle we make it lighter, better we will reduce the consumption of the fuel, and also we will have low cost vehicles running on the road. If you see today, there is a lot of change after the oil crisis in 1973, what the world experienced, and everybody is after that is talking of lightweight material, a safety vehicle, and better comfort vehicle and with a low cost vehicle. Similarly, when there was some inaugural function about the new discoveries and development of new materials, even in the ex-USA president in one of his speech said that material genome, it is the most important initiative. What we say by genome means the DNA in our heart. The creativity and innovative has to be in our blood, and without which we cannot develop the new technologies what we require. Next slide, please. Next one. Okay, so it is rightly said in the Dr. Abdul Kalam's book that the human civilization, it is associated with the history of metals itself. So when we talk of 3500 before the Christ, it was called as Stone Age. No metals were there to be there other than to talk about the gold. Gold, we know that it came in existence, and the human being started understanding its importance for civilization 6000 before the priced. So obviously the gold was the first material over many years to look at it, and that is called as the one of the material which we call it as related to the history of civilization of the mankind. Now then came in 3000 what we call as copper age, followed with the bronze age. So if you see some of the photographs, old photographs during that civilization, you will find a lot of women wearing the various jewelry of bronzes and copper, and they were called as the richness of that particular group or the particular civilization colonies were working at that time. The Iron Age really started in 1500 BC, and today also iron is the backbone of all the materials among the various types of metals we are using as on today. So this civilization in the Mesopotamian, Egyptian, Greek, or Romans, if we talk of the every generation has created the new materials, and with the new material development, the human civilization progressed further till what we see in 21st century. So these materials started developing as arsenic in 13th century, followed by the antimony. Then bismuth and zinc came and discovered in 14th century. So by the next slide, please. So the 17th century, we had around 12 different materials were discovered and were known to the humankind. Then in the 18th century, additional 12 elements were discovered. In 19th century, next level of materials of 42 elements were discovered by the humans. And then in 20th century, additional 20 came up. So around 86 to 87 elements were there to the at the end of the 20th century. Next slide, please. So we can see that the civilization grown from this Stone Age to today what we talk of as around 91 metals are known to the human beings as on today. Many of Nobel Prizes, if we see, they are based on what are the discoveries of new materials, metals I would say, and with that new metals or the metalloids. Metalloids are the oxides of the metal. So total elements come to 118, inclusive of 91 metals and other metalloids. So totally this develops the nation where you can use the maximum usage of all these elements. Next slide, please. So as we look at it, you can see that we talk about the developed countries, we talk of developing countries, and we talk of underdeveloped or poor countries. How do we these words they came into existence? If we look at into the history of mankind as well as to the metal development, we can find that richest countries in the world, what we call them as America, Russia, and China, then they have the plenty of mineral resources. But remember one thing, as young generation, what I'm talking to them, that just to have the mineral resources is called as your wealth, undoubtedly. But unless you have the backbones of technology developed to see that these minerals are converted into a finished product, then your strength is higher as compared to any other developed country in the world. So here, when we talk of these developed countries have their own mineral resources as well as their own technology to convert this into a finished product. But if you look at some of the other countries like Japan, Germany, France, or Britain, or some other countries, they are also developed countries. But what they have done, they have taken the mineral resources from the underdeveloped or poor countries, converted them into the finished products, and these countries have the technologies with which they are on the upper as the developed countries in the world today. If you look at many of the African countries today, even today, they have richness in their mineral resources, but they don't have the technology of their own in their indigenously developed, by which we can call them as a developed country, or today they are in the developing stage, or they are the poor countries. So similarly, if you look at the India now, looking at the map of India, you will realize what Dr. Abdul Kalam said in his book, India is the richest and have the excellent resources of mineral resources like iron, manganese, aluminium, titanium, and many other elements. In his book, he has talked about many events also. He has shown in his book how these materials are available in our country and how we were facing in developing certain areas of product development in the past. Next one. Next slide. So if we go to this slide, you can realize here that 100 years back, it was Tata Motors, Jamshedji Tata, who realized that all our mineral resources available, rich mineral resources available in our country are with our labor forces, are extracted by the colonies which were developed at that time in India, and they were taking it abroad, converting them into a finished product, as I said earlier, and then they were sold in our country at very high rates, and we remained the poor country, though we were rich in our resources of minerals. So after the independence, we realized that the importance of that we must have our own steel plants, and government took the really good initiative at that time, and we had now today many number of plants available in the country to make the iron and steel as our own resource of material as well as conversion into a finished product. We took the help of Russia, we took the help of Germany and many other countries in converting this raw material, mineral resources into a finished product. But even today, as I can say that we are really producing the steel which is enough for our domestic and engineering purposes. But today, I would like to express to the young generation that even today, India depends on about 65%. The value might have changed to some extent, but it is about 65%. We depend on import of auto grade steels. What I mean by auto grade steel, auto industry requires certain quality of material without which they don't manufacture their all structural and other body in white components, for which most of the steel is imported. I was one of the principal member in 1992 or 95 at that time of Ministry of Iron and Steel to work out and find out why are we dependent on import of steels. And we realized that auto grade quality what the industry requires is yet we don't manufacture. Though we are self-sufficient in domestic and other engineering applications, the steel, the grade of steel that we manufacture in India has to be upgraded. So as a vision for 2020 and beyond, if I have to talk about the mineral resources and conversion into a finished product, then I would say we have to reduce the cost of the auto grade steel quality that we manufacture in India, and at the same time we have to improve the quality of the steel to meet the auto grade quality what auto industry requires. So to do this, the areas of importance where the steel plants have to look in as well as the young generation can help the industry to develop is one, reduce the coal consumption. Normally 500 kg per coal 500 kg of coal is required to produce 1 ton of the steel. But in India, it is more than 700 kg of the coal is required. And with a process of technology development over the 2 decades, we have reached up to around 550. But still, we have to go down to have better coal consumption, whereby reduction of coal consumption will be there less than 500 kg per 1 ton of steel manufacturing. So there is a technology development grave area where we have to move forward. Similar is the energy consumption. Normally 6 gigacalories of energy is should be requirement, but at present we take around 10 to 12 calories per ton to manufacture the steel in India today. So this is another area of importance where we should improve our country's knowledge base and develop it. Third one, the majority of the steel manufactured are either blast furnace Blast furnace is the heart of making of steel, undoubtedly. But next is secondary level of manufacturing, where we go for the smelting processes like your oxygen lancers, electric furnaces. But technology has to go up, where we can use the vacuum degassing techniques during the melting operation, by which oxygen, nitrogen, and hydrogen contents in the steel can be reduced, and inclusions in the steel or the dirtiness of the steel can be reduced, and make the better control on the chemistry, whereby our quality will be as good as equivalent to imported grades of the steels. One of the area which I will be talking later on with you is advances of high strength steels or ultra high strength steels, where India, really speaking, in technology for auto industry is behind as compared to the developed countries, as what I said earlier. So this area, AHSS or UHS, was not discussed more in Dr. Abdul Kalam's book, but he said with the word new generation of steels. Next slide, please. So, um, so the next, I will see it here myself. Next one. Yeah. Now, other than steel, as I talked to areas of grave area, as I said in the earlier slide, the steel, we are almost the third in ranking in the world in having the resources of iron and steel. But today, the grades of steels manufactured by those who don't have the resources of iron and steel, like Germany, France, and other countries like Switzerland, they are even the South Korea, they are manufacturing better quality of steel than what we manufacture. So this is the area we require to develop. Similarly, in case of aluminium, is the resources of bauxite mineral in India are, we are the fifth largest in the world. But with the manufacturing processes called as bias and electrolytic processes, we have to improve the areas where the young generation should look at it is process efficiency. We must improve the process efficiency, which is a very important thing. If we have to compete with China, China is almost equivalent with the bauxite or mineral resources like India, but they are far ahead of India in terms of finished products of aluminium based alloys which they manufacture. Other part of development which is required is the lightweight aluminium alloys like aluminium lithium or SAE grades, what we call it as 5000 series, 6000 series, and it is 7000 series. And there is a other technology development which is upcoming in the market, is the metal matrix composite with aluminium as base material. If you look at the Dr. Abdul Kalam's book, he has talked a lot about the titanium and beryllium alloys in his book. And he says that we are one of the largest resources of titanium. But today, the finished products in titanium, we lack a lot. Even in one of the conference which are organized some 2 decades back with ASM International Pune chapter, Dr. Irani, who came for the inaugural function from the TISCO, he also said we are rich in titanium, but though our resources are there, 37% of the world's resources, we are not converting them into a product of our own products. We sell it this resources to outside country, and they are becoming rich in using them for various applications. Similar is the case about rare earth elements. We are also one of the world's leading resources in rare earth elements. And if we talk of tomorrow's vehicles, we are talking of electric vehicles, we are talking of e-mobility tomorrow. So most of these e-mobility vehicles will require batteries as well as motors and other thing, magnetos, where the material can be used with rare earth elements. And this is where we can lead the world in the development of electric vehicles by converting the rare earth elements into a finished goods for batteries, motors, and magnets. Next one. So I will just talk in a very small word. What are the different categories of materials that go into making of all engineering attempts, what we talk of, whether it is for the health sector, whether it is for industry sector or for any domestic purposes, they go from general metal alloys as ferrous alloys and non-ferrous materials like aluminium, copper, magnesium, and so on. And then there are varieties of polymeric materials where we start with elastomers. Earlier days it was called as rubber, then thermoplastic and thermoset plastic, some adhesive materials, bonding materials, and combination of all these metal polymers combination when we do, we call it as metal matrix composite, or we call it as glass fiber reinforced plastic composite, as FRPs or PMCs, what we call them. So these are the different varieties of grades of materials available in market, but every different material will have number of grades available in the market. Next slide. Can you go? Yes. So here I have classified all these materials into metals, non-metals, then thermoplastic, thermosets, elastomers, ceramic-based materials, and other materials. And if you look at the bottom, I'm saying that now we talked about the civilization, human civilization with respect to the metal developments. So as what Dr. Abdul Kalam said, but now I would say in 21st century, we are entering to the third level, next level, the fifth generation or the sixth generation of material called as smart functional materials, where we see manless vehicles. Even yesterday we had seen our Prime Minister inaugurated for manless train to be driven in Delhi areas. So that when we talk about this, we are looking forward for the new generation of material called as smart functional materials. So they are the MEMS, nanomaterials, there are shape memory alloys, there are the electromagneto rheological materials, and so on. So this is the next generation what we are going to see, and it is an era where the young generation, that is the young India, must look forward in having India the superpower in the world as leading and make it ourselves as development in materials technology. Next one. So these are what I am showing here are all conventional materials. So in these conventional materials, I can say that grades of steels like interstitial free steels or ultra low carbon steel or strain aging steels and bake hardening steels are today the backbone in India in manufacturing of our majority of engineering attempts. They also include high strength low alloy steel, what are commonly known as high strength low alloy steels or HSLA, or extra deep drawn quality steels are used for the purpose of making of many of automobile vehicles as well as other engineering applications. So this is where we stand as on current technology of the steel, inclusive of other grades of materials which are very commonly used are the surface hardening grades of material, that is carburizing and nitriding, or direct hardening materials, tools or die steels, stainless steels. Variety of stainless steels are going ferritic, austenitic, martensitic, and pH grade. I cannot discuss every individual of them in detail because half an hour only I have to talk. So cast irons, there are gray cast iron, ductile cast iron, malleable cast iron, white iron. So all these materials, inclusive the aluminum base alloys, what I am talking in the slide, and copper base alloys, the polymeric materials, the plastics, all these are existing in the Vision 2020 of Dr. Abdul Kalam. But what is missing? I have to talk about it where we have to make our technology forward to Vision 2020 to say Vision 2030 to 2035. So let's talk to the next slide. So what are these new materials we have to talk of?
So,
So if you look at,
so sorry to
yes,
interrupt in between. Actually, our next expert has joined the meeting for his expert talk. Sir, if we can just conclude it.
Yeah. We are doctors of the event. Okay, then let's do 1 minute only. So we'll say different driving force materials. Dr. Adam, next slide.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Do you want me
No, no,
or stop?
Rishikesh, please shift to next slide. Sir, you come to the concluding remark. You can continue up to your presentation, your concluding remark.
Okay, okay. Yeah, we can show it well and good. Otherwise, these are the driving forces required. So in the conclusion, I can say in case of materials like dual phase steels, steels, nano grade of steels. There are CP steels, what are called as complex steels, and there are MART steels, which are required to be developed in the nation by tomorrow by the young youth in India. And similarly, in case of cast iron, we have to develop the new grades of materials, what are known as the compacted gray cast iron, which is a technology for tomorrow for making lightweight material. Similarly, in aluminum based alloy, I said about 5,000, 7,000, 7,000, and 6,000 grades. Similarly, with lithium alloys, where a lot of opportunities for young generation is there. In titanium, there are varieties of metals, and making of all these, we require to make a special mini plant to be created in the country is very essential, whereby these metals can be made and import of 67% can be reduced by tomorrow. Next slide, probably maybe the last slide. Next one. So there is a technology where we require for variety of application, including the health industry, is for this carbon fiber technology, the low cost carbon fiber technology. The upcoming technology of graphene based material is required for the future. As we are talking of India, we require natural fiber composite development for the future. And there where I would say the young generation must look forward in meeting these requirements. The last slide, please, as a conclusion. Last one. So here I would say the 5 essential points are required. Be prepared, be courageous, think of differently, be humble, have a good goal, connect with people. And important, जिस हिंदी में लिखा है, तो जिस दिन हमारे सिग्नेचर ऑटोग्राफ में बदल जाए, तो मान लीजिए कि आप कामयाब हो गए। आई वुड से आप भी अब्दुल कलाम हो गए, ऐसे हम वो बता सकते हैं कि हमारे इंडिया में भी और भी अब्दुल कलाम बन जाएंगे इन द फ्यूचर। ऑल माय बेस्ट विशेस टू यंग जनरेशन एंड थैंक यू वेरी मच। इट्स अ वेरी शॉर्ट ड्यूरेशन बट आई मेड इट। थैंक यू।
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. Thank you, sir, for beautifully sharing the information on mineral resources and your experiences towards material and the future, relating it with Kalam sir's book and his vision as well. Thank you so much, sir.
थैंक
Now
यू।
I would welcome, sir. Now I would like to introduce another renowned personality, Honorable Datarkar, who is going to deliver an expert talk on the topic healthcare for all. His biodata, he is currently working as the professor and head department of and maxillofacial surgery center of excellence for cranio maxillofacial surgery, government dental college and hospital Nagpur. He has various honors, awards and fellowship under his profile, like best student of the year from RTMNU in April 99 and many more. He has various patents on his name. In 2019 publications at regional, national, and
Siley,
international
please.
level. So,
Siley, wait, please.
sir,
There is some,
I'm unable to
there
hear
is
you.
some background noise coming.
Yes, yes, sir. Now it's
Now
okay.
read the search biodata.
Okay. So, Honorable Dr. Abhay Datarkar is currently working as the professor and head of department of Oral and Maxillofacial Surgery Center of Excellence for Craniomaxillofacial Surgery, Government Dental College and Hospital, Nagpur. He has various honors, awards, and fellowship under his profile, like Best Student of the Year, given by RTMNU in April 99, and many more. He has various patents on his name, 29 international publications, and 47 national publications. He has scheduled and attended various international and national conferences. He has delivered various keynote presentations at regional, national, and international level. There is a lot more to his profile, but as the time permits, so this is in short about Sir's work experience. And now I would like to request you, sir, to please educate our participants by sharing your thoughts and experiences on the topic healthcare for all. Please, sir.
Thank you. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So I want to share my screen.
Sir, hello.
Yeah.
Sir, some background sound is coming from your drum-like thing.
Hello.
Now it's okay, sir.
Now it's okay.
Yeah, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hello. Am I audible now?
Yes, sir.
Hello.
Yes, sir, you're audible, sir. You can continue.
Yeah. And can you see my slide on the screen also, Siley?
Yes, yes.
So I will start my presentation. At the outset, I would like to thank Dr. Prashant Kadu sir for giving me an opportunity to participate in his movement for Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam's vision for India 2020. And the topic which has been allotted to me is the health for all. All of us know like how the health is very, very important in this today's day-to-day practice, and everybody is having a sort of exposure or a feeling regarding the latest outburst of coronavirus. Everybody knows about it, how it has changed the total life of the world, the population, the India, and everything. So it is very important for us to know about what is the vision of Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam for India 2020. And I'm going to speak about few very salient points which he has mentioned in this chapter regarding the healthcare for all. All of us knows Professor Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam was a visionary. He was the president of India, and what he says, let the coming 50 years be a period of expanded vision for India. Faith in yourself, a bold desire to care new paths and create an environment for the youth to excel. Such a new developed India will inspire confidence in people of the other countries as well. Let us look for strong, healthy, wealthy India radiating its well-being to the all peoples. So APJ was having a vision, like when he was the president of India, and if all of us knows like he is a man of what we call it as a man of the missile man, and he was having a particular vision, and what is there in his vision, he has given a utmost importance to the wealth, to the health being of the people, or to the health being of the population. And what is he believe, if the health of the person is good, that country will be strong, very healthy, and very healthy, because the good health only can promote or can contribute to the development of the nation. So with this, everybody know like he was a big dreamer. Like you have to dream
Sir,
before you
excuse
are.
me.
Sorry.
Dr. Datarkar sir.
Yes.
Sir, can you put your presentation in presentation mode from the computer?
Oh, it is not in presentation mode.
No, your whole screen is in
Just a moment, sir.
slideshow. Please put in slideshow.
Okay, okay.
So तो स्लाइड शोचा आयकॉन असेल इकडे खाली ग्लास सारख्या
Just
किंवा F5 दाबून द्या प्लीज.
F5, huh?
हो हो. ते वर बटन आहे F5चं.
आता आला सर.
Yes sir, yes sir, please. Great.
Sorry for the disturbance. So you have to dream before your dreams come true. Now, what does it means? In healthcare sector, if we have a good health, we can dream of whatever we want in our life. Okay, and that was the vision what APJ was having for 2020. Today, I am going to speak about the healthcare for all. And the few salient points what I am going to talk today in this particular lecture today regarding the lifestyle diseases, the communicable diseases, the different kinds of the sanitization systems in India, and how to prevent these diseases and keep ourselves healthy in this particular pattern. Now it is very truly said that don't give a place to the disease. Okay, very truly said by a Tamil saint poetess. You should not have a place in your life for a disease. Okay, that's very important because what you think you become. It is the nature of the law. Okay, whatever you think, whatever you give to the nature, it comes back to you. Okay, if you think you are healthy, you are having a good health, you don't have any disease, the same law is going to reflect to you and it is going to come back to you. Okay, what our prime minister IK Gujral has said, I see before me the bottled water kept for dignitaries on the dais. It reminds me of three classes of the Indians. One, who can afford bottled water. Keep it in mind, in India we have all three classes of the people who can afford bottled water, the other who manage to get some water in their taps or in a nearby tap or a pump irrespective of its quality or regularity of supply, and the third set of the Indians are those who drinking water is a daily problem and who will be ready to drink any polluted water. What does this slide mean to say? In India, we have all the category of the people, from the poorest to the richest. Okay. And that is the reason why the healthcare for all by 2020, because of this big difference in the poorest to the richest, the poorest may not have the approachability to the proper healthcare system or very minimal, and the richest may be having the approachability to the highest possible healthcare system in India. Okay? And this is what exactly this particular former prime minister's quote says. We have all the three types of the people in our country. Now, what is important for us is prevention of the communicable disease. Now, in short, to the youngsters, I would like to tell in short what are the communicable diseases. Now, communicable diseases means a disease which spreads from one person to another person. Like, take an example in today's era. COVID. COVID is a communicable disease. It spreads by what we call it as the fomite, what we call it as by like whenever you speak, when you are infected, the fomites will be spreaded in the air and then in there you will get an infection. Okay. So this type of the diseases, they can be a communicable diseases. So there are multiple diseases. India has seen many types of the communicable diseases. But the best thing is whenever there is a communicable disease, I'd like to mention like a polio was a communicable disease. And there today, if you see, because of a well-controlled polio vaccination program, the polio is totally under control. Okay, like the same thing is going to happen with the COVID-19 also. So as the vaccine will be there, probably there will be a good control on it. Few important points to be considered in the prevention of these communicable diseases are the suitable sanitization system, control of the disease spreading materials or the vectors, immunization program carried out on a large scale and attention of the nutrition and the dietary supplement. Now everybody knows, like, you sanitize your hands, sanitize your hands, sanitize your hands. So that is nothing but we have to follow the proper sanitization system for the spread of or the prevention of the spread of the communicable disease. It's very, very important. Control of the disease spread, like today, what is being told to us, wear your mask, okay? So we have to control the disease by following the proper barriers, masks, face shields and other things, and then doing a proper sanitization of the areas where we are living, maintenance of the hygiene protocols, all these things will help definitely in prevention of the communicable disease, okay? Vigorous immunization program. I have given an example. Polio is the best one of the examples, and probably the same thing is going to happen with the COVID also. And definitely the nutrition and the dietary supplement plays a very, very important role, where we have to keep our health very healthy by having a healthy diet, protein-rich diet. All these things plays a vital role in the prevention of the. What are the problems faced in Indian scenario? The reach has access to information about the health related issues. As I mentioned in my previous slides, there is a large gap in between, okay, the poor and the richest. So the richest have an access to the information about health related issues. There is a total absence of the health education among the low socioeconomic section. Many of them cannot afford a visit to a doctor and they end up in relying on quacks. And most primary healthcare centers do not provide any tangible healthcare to the people. So these are the few very important problems which we, the Indians, are facing today in this particular era of healthcare for all. Okay, and what is the solution for this is we have to minimize this gap of rich and the poor so that the healthcare system can be available for each and everybody and it can be reached to everybody to everybody's access. Okay. Drinking water, like very important, as I mentioned, how technology could assist in meeting drinking water needs. And drinking water plays a very, very important role today, because if the water you are drinking is healthy, your life will be healthy. So there are many technologies, and DRDO has the laboratories, and there are many plants where the drinking water is being mineralized, where the drinking water is being properly treated. And now, because of this particular technology, this proper drinking water is available in many of the places, but still in remote areas, in rural areas, the drinking water is still an issue, and which has to be sorted out for getting a proper health for everybody. Better sanitary conditions and improved micro environment in the habitat of workplace are the most important requirements for the health. What is important is we have to improve the environment and we have to improve the habits and the workplace. Ordinary Indians too deserve and have a right to live and work in a good environment. Preventive healthcare system like inoculation, vaccination, immunization, periodic health checks, and medical treatment should be available and affordable to all the Indians. Okay, and what is and what is the message is yes, we the Indians also can do this. We can make the system work. We can change them to help the people. And everybody has seen in since last 8 to 9 months how the system is being totally evolved, how the infrastructure is being evolved to manage this particular deadly pandemic, what we call it as COVID-19. Okay, so we have to go on upgrading, we have to go on evolving, we have to go on improving the infrastructure, the systems for getting the proper health for all. Now, towards the vision, the two IT Indies, we have more than 1 billion Indians as of 2020. Millions of them have lifestyle equivalent to or even more luxurious than the upper strata of the developed, but they face the stress of modern life, often do not have the facilities for the good living, confronted with the constant insecurity about making end meets, and this majority does not have economic surplus. Now, what is important is, though there are the population is large, but with the proper health care system, the things can be controlled, the health can be provided to all the people. What is the reality of the future scenario in India in epidemiology? This was a survey done by TIFAC, and India would have the disease of the developing as well as the developed countries. And one of the examples is the tuberculosis, okay, HIV, AIDS, vector-borne diseases, and the diarrhea. Application of the new developments in the technology could substantially reduce the incidence of diseases, and non-communicable diseases such as ischemic heart diseases, strokes, female cancers are likely to decline considerably by 2020, but suicides and homicides and other psychological disorders and the other problems and accidents are going to increase. Okay, this was the vision what IPJ has projected for 2020, and this is really happening. The lifestyle diseases, because of the changing lifestyle nowadays, they are getting reduced, like hypertension, diabetes, they are getting totally very much under control. But other problems of the other part of the society, like the suicides, homicides, and other things, they are nowadays increasing, and that has to be properly focused, that has to be properly taken care in the coming next few years. What are the immediate versus the immediate steps for the new vision? The immediate versus steps for the new vision are eradicate the disease before 2020, whether it is an infectious, whether it is a maternal, whether it is a perinatal, and the nutritional disease. And there are guidelines for identifying the high risk individuals, and the protocols for chemoprophylaxis also need to be developed. Health education programs need to be undertaken for a specific target group. Very, very important. Keep it in mind. We have to do the health education in masses of the people, right from a child to the adult to the eldest person. The health education program needs to be properly implemented so that everybody will have a knowledge of a sustainable healthcare system, and that will be the role model for the whole world. Role of the NGOs and awareness campaigns. NGOs, non-government organizations, has played a major role. And as I have already mentioned, like one of the examples is the NGOs and the youth organizations can be fruitfully utilized to fulfill the major life-saving missions. One of the missions like the Polio-Free India, and many NGOs like Government of India, then Rotary is having a major role in this, and that is how the polio is being eradicated because of the immunization vaccination program. The television and the film media could also be tapped to spread the message, and there could be a corporate sponsorship for many health programs. Like there are many non-government organizations. Like I would like to give an example. Smile Train is one of them, who is doing the surgeries for the clefts. Okay, so there are so many non-government organizations which are ready to participate, which are ready to partner with the governments to give the health awareness campaigning amongst the masses, and that is the need of the day, and that is how we can achieve the healthcare for the next few years in the country. The protection of the intellectual IPR is also an important right for the medical professionals. If somebody or some company has already invented a new drug and patented it in India, permission has to be obtained from the party concerned before it can be used. Okay, it's very important because these norms of the intellectual property rights has to be properly followed for the benefit of the society, for the benefit of the nation. Genius companies try to provide inexpensive vaccines and the medicines may have problems in overcoming such illegal, immoral competitive practices. Okay, and here comes the role of this intellectual property rights, because if you want to really pass on the benefit to each and every person, the intellectual property rights has to be properly followed, the copyrights has to be properly followed, and then only it will benefit the human being. Requirement of the good delivery and storage mechanism for the vaccines, very important, as like we are preparing to get a vaccine for the COVID-19. A lot of efforts are being done in India, and very soon the vaccine will be ready for all of us. That is what is being projected, probably by next month, and for that we need to do a proper storage mechanism. Vaccination program has to be properly followed. Importance of the electric power is very important because the vaccine needs a particular temperature where it has to be stored, and if the proper power is not there, then the efficacy of that particular vaccine can also be reduced, and that is the reason why we have to have a proper electric power, and that can be corrected by this particular power vicious cycle, like power crisis, autonomous functioning of the agencies, lack of coordination, proposals sent to the capital, and the crisis absence. So all these crises has to be properly managed, and if we follow this vicious cycle, it is not difficult to manage this particular power crisis. Now, how to combat this power crisis? Think holistically and innovatively. Defense laser can be used for various surgical procedure. Atomic energy can be used for the radiation in various cancers. Satellite remote sensing to map out areas of the to prevent disease spread. Okay, so these are all the advances like how to cope with the power crisis, and all these things can be very properly used for the betterment. Now there are non-infectious diseases like, as I told you, the diseases of the lifestyle. Okay, they are also known as the developed countries or the post-transitional diseases. And what are the risk factors for these non-infectious diseases? Urbanization, altered lifestyle. Common diseases which are involved in this are the cardiovascular diseases, cancer, diabetes, immune system disorders, and all these lifestyle diseases needs to be properly followed so that we can get a proper health for all, and for the subsequent years every Indian will be healthy, wealthy, and will be in a position to do a proper work. Cardiovascular diseases in India, nearly 2.4 million deaths are caused by cardiovascular disorders. Small scale community based studies indicate the prevalence of the cardiovascular disease in adults ranging from 26% in rural and 610% in urban areas. So what is important is in urban areas, this particular disease is more as compared to that of the rural area. Studies of the overseas Indians in many countries reveals excess coronary mortality in person of the Indian origin. So India starting at a heart disease epidemic, very, very important. We have to control this particular cardiovascular disease, and for that the lifestyle modification, proper drugs, and all these things are to be properly followed. Okay. Now this is a table showing the health sector survey of the different diseases, as you can see here, and all in all these things, the infectious disease and all causes and estimated and projected mortality rate. The mortality rate is very, very high as you go from infectious diseases to the other like neoplasm, the cardiovascular, and then the injuries and all these things. Okay, so we have to follow this particular mortality rate also, so that a particular care can be taken to give a proper healthcare system for everyone. Now, what are the diagnostic aids in coronary heart disease? As you know, like ECG stress, whenever there is nuclear cardiology, echocardiology, Holter monitoring, and cardiac catheterization. This is basically like whenever you have a cardiovascular problem, like coronary heart disease, myocardial infarction, and all these things. So this is in general for the knowledge of the youngsters. Like these are the different techniques how the cardiovascular system can be monitored in our day-to-day practice. Okay. So the simplest one is the ECG or echo, that is how, and then the others like echocardio and then cardiac catheterization and all these things also. These are different medical therapies for coronary heart disease. Everybody knows about this. Like we have the anti-anginal drugs, antithrombolytic, ACE inhibitors, antioxidant, supplemental oxygen, thrombolytic agents, and all these things has definitely helped in controlling this particular coronary heart disease in our country, what we call it as India Health for All 2020. Now, this was a stent what our APJ has invented. India's first coronary stent, which was developed in collaboration with Medic Hospital in Hyderabad. And the main object behind developing this stent was to substantially bring down the cost and make it affordable to the common man. That was the reason, right? And this is what the APJ was having the vision, like Make in India is very, very important to bring down the cost of the infrastructure, to bring down the cost of the healthcare system. We, the youngsters, should have an innovative approach, an evolutionary approach for developing our own Make in India product, so that the cost of that particular thing can be very, very reduced, and we can reach to the masses, to the poorest person. Okay, and this is how you can see the cost of this particular stent was 15,000 each, against the market price, which used to be 40 to 60,000, comparable at that time to the particular water stage. Okay? So the message what I would like to give to the youngsters is, you should be innovative, whether it's a medical sciences, whether it is in engineering sciences, whatever it is, you should have an attitude to develop something new, something different, which will be of use to the masses, to the public, to the population, and that will definitely help the people of India. Now, I would like to talk about the cancer. The cancer is a degenerative disease which is influenced by age, environment, and the lifestyle. And amongst many high-level non-medical decision makers, there is a generally myth that cancer is a disease of the rich and they can take it. Most cancers present only at the latter stages of the life. Okay, so take it from me, cancer is a very dreaded disease, and today the major challenge what we the Indians are facing is the managing this particular cancer. Oral cancer is contributing around 30 to 35% in this particular chunk of the disease, and then there are other cancers like the lung cancers and the other things. Okay, so dear friends, we have to be very precautious. We have to follow the preventive measures where this particular dreaded disease, what we call cancer, also can be very well avoided or can be controlled. And then, and this is the incidence, as you can see here. I mentioned you like oral cavity is having the highest cancer as compared to that of the lungs, then cervix, and then the others. Okay, so oral cavity in India, it is mainly because of the tobacco chewing habit and mainly because of the smoking, the lung cancer. These are the. Now, what are the status of effective diagnostic and therapeutic facilities in India? If you see India, India definitely has made a long progress as far as the facilities are concerned, as far as the infrastructures are concerned. But this infrastructure is not available at every corner of the country. That is the problem. Okay, like it is mainly available in most of the metros where there are major hospitals are there. Okay, so the status of effective diagnostic and therapeutic facilities in India. Endoscopy are an essential part of the diagnostic services for the cancer. You know, like you can see in the picture, this is the endoscope which goes inside your body and which actually detect where is the problem in your cells. Okay, their cost can be brought down partly by economics of the scales and partly through the innovative designs. Okay, availability of the external radiotherapy cobalt 90 unit is limited to specified units. Okay, and there are only 120 units in the country. Okay, so if you see for a population of 1 crore 135 crore, there are only 120 the units which are designating or which are giving the radiation therapy. Okay, so this number is very less. Okay, and that is the reason why I told you there are best of the best possible infrastructural facilities available, but their number is very limited, and that is what we want to increase that particular facility. In my opinion, the facility for the healthcare system has to be available in a periphery of around 150 kilometers. Okay, for every 150 kilometers, there has to be one supra major hospital with all the latest possible facilities. And you take it from me, 101%, our healthcare system is going to improve in the coming future with this kind of attitude if we really develop it in the future. Sight for all, India, all of us know like the blindness is a major problem what we are facing. India has 1/4 of the world's blind or the visually handicapped. About 12 million people are fully blind and 20 million suffer from various forms of the serious visual handicappedness like rendering the virtual ineffectiveness, and almost 80% of the blind in India are due to the cataract. Okay, so we have to implement the programs for the blindness also, for relieving the blindness, and for that we have to prepare, we have to plan so that every Indian can have a light of the day in the future. Other significant causes for the blindness, as I am not going to in details, but if you are like the corneal disorders, glaucoma, hypertension, nutrient deficiency, vitreoretinal disorders, these are all the medical terminologies, and these might be the causes for the blindness. So in short, what I mean to say is blindness is also one of the major factor, one of the major disease what we the Indians are facing, and for next 5 years we should have a program for this particular disease also in a pipeline, so that the India will be a brighter India, will see the world. Okay, and this is the different lenses. I'm not going in details about all these things, intraocular lenses which are nowadays used for the control of this all this blindness and all these things. Okay, so DRDO, like you know, defense organization, defense research organization, in collaboration again with LV Prasad, Hyderabad has designed a pulse ND-YAG laser with a delivery system for ophthalmic applications. You can see here. So this is what is needed today. We need to develop our own infrastructure. We need to develop our own instruments. We need to develop our own equipments. India have a talent, and that talent need to be properly motivated. The young minds needs a proper brainstorming so that they can use them, and then that can be used for the betterment of the healthcare system in India. Maternal health and child is also very, very important in India. Every third mother who is giving a birth to a child is suffering from the nutritional deficiency like megaloblastic anemia, like vitamin B12 deficiency and the folic acid deficiency. So all these things needs to be properly monitored, properly followed, properly, especially in the areas like in the areas where the healthcare facility is not available or access to the healthcare facility is remote. In this case, the maternal health is also very, very important. And if you want to have the healthy India, healthy child, mother has to be healthy. And for that, we have to take care of our mother who is giving a birth to the child by giving a proper nutritional supplements, by giving a proper vitamins and other things, and by giving a proper sanitization system. And this is the project. I will not go in detail. Effective antenatal care, prophylactic iron and drinking water facilities, universal immunization coverage are some of the measures which would reduce the problem of the mother-child healthcare system. None of the Medicare is required for maternal and the child health demand breakthrough the technologies. What is required is a large scale production and the distribution of the system. As I mentioned, like we have to think of our own solutions, do the production, distribute them. That will definitely help in increasing the health, in improving the health of the Indians, and that is how the India will be more stronger, more brighter, more healthier in the coming future. As it is very truly said by Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, my young children, go to all parts of the country, particularly beyond the remove the pain of the mind and the body. Indeed, a health mission is ahead of you, my best wishes. What APJ wants to tell us to every doctor, to every person, to every child, go to the rural areas where you are more needed, and by serving the population in rural area, the vision what we call it as vision 2020, or I will say now vision 2025, because there are in every day there are challenges in this particular healthcare system today, and every day is a new day for all of us, and in this particular era by 2025, because we need to do the modifications in our healthcare systems. And what is most important, before I would like to conclude, I would like to give a message to all the youngsters who are listening to this lecture. Improve your immunity. That is the message to all of you. Okay? And how this is done? Because the next generation medicine, that is the 21st century medicine, is the mind, body, and the medicine. Okay. Today, if you see, it is a medicine which we practice whenever there is a disease. We focus on giving the medicines. We focus on giving the surgery. Okay. What is the mind, body, and medicine? 21st century practice medicine will be, the focus will be more on the inner being. Correcting your inner being will be more important in this particular coming 21st century medicine practice, where the more importance will be given to the pranayam, to the yogas, to the meditation, to the exercises, lifestyle building, lifestyle modifications, and all these things will keep all of us, all the Indians, healthy, wealthy, and with this, I would like to conclude. Thank you so much once again, organizers, for giving me this opportunity to share my experiences. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for sharing the information on various vaccines, the diseases like coronary heart, cardiovascular diseases, etc. Also for sharing the idea of creative always in whichever domain you work for your life. So thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Now I'm glad to introduce another renowned personality, Honorable Dr. Father A.K. George, who is going to deliver an expert talk on the topic Realizing the Vision. To start with his biodata, he is He is working as a professor in computer science in St. Vincent Pallotti College of Engineering, Nagpur. He has a total of about 20 years of teaching experience. Talking about his educational background, he has completed his PhD in computer science and brain. He is the lucky and privileged individual to complete his PhD under the noble guidance of late Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, the ex-president of India. He has guided more than 15 MTech projects. He has published various papers as well. He has written his PhD thesis on improving the capabilities of the mentally challenged children by appropriate technologies, guided by Bharat Ratna's late Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, the ex-president of India. This was a short introduction about Father, and now I would like to request you to please motivate our participants with your words of wisdom. Over to you, Father.
Thank you very much. India 2020 vision of Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. Distinguished panelists, organizers, and participants. Yesterday, Dr. Sahasrabudhe said Dr. Kalam was spiritual. Yes, I agree 100% with it. He was a big brain and a generous, big heart too. If I put it in my own words, Kalam was a kalakar. His kala or art was that of the heart. He had a big heart, and the art of his heart was working everywhere in his life. And what was his art and heart doing to India? In this connection, let me say, his book, India 2020, starts with a quote from the Bible saying, even the brothers try to avoid a poor brother. If that is the case among the brothers in the world of cutthroat competition, who will care for a poor country? No one. It is highly likely that they may exploit the poor ones. And therefore, he wanted India to be great. And this, for him, was a fight against many elements of the world in our effort to become a great nation. The ways proposed by Dr. Kalam through his head are already discussed at length in the previous 11 chapters. And chapter 12 is the culmination of all these concepts of the book. And I should say, his crowning technique was the technique of his heart. And therefore, I today choose to discuss his technique of the heart, the trick of the heart trick. He was my guide. I am proud to say that he was my guide, and I have a fair amount of understanding of Dr. Kalam as the humane, the kalakar, the heart artist, the heartist, the heart trick. Now, let me share something from the Mahabharata. Before the Kurukshetra war, as you all know, both the Pandavas and the Kauravas wanted to get Sri Krishna on their part. And Duryodhana entered the room where Lord Krishna was sleeping. And then, having waited for a while at the feet of Krishna, he decided, why I should be at the feet? Let me go to the head. And he went to the head part of Krishna. And later came Arjuna, and he waited at the feet of Krishna. And Krishna eventually woke up. So Arjuna first. And their request was heard. But then Krishna said, because I saw Arjuna first, I will give the choice, the first chance to Arjuna. And therefore, Arjuna took his chance. Duryodhana was very much afraid that Arjuna may take the arms and armaments and the army of Lord Krishna. But Arjuna chose Krishna, Krishna's mind, Krishna's will, Krishna's personality to be with him. And Duryodhana was happy to get the armies and the armaments of Krishna. And we all know what happened. What is more important is the person, not his intellect, not his armaments. And here I say, in the case of Dr. Kalam, he had his intellectual vision. Obviously, I'm very happy about it. But the thing that differentiates him from many other great scientists is that he had a great heart. His attitude was great. And that attitude, that heart part, is that I am going to share in the first part. Let me share some of the stories which Dr. Kalam himself had shared with me. This is one which he had repeated at least 2 or 3 times to me. There was this Special Olympics in Seattle in the year 1976. 9 mentally challenged and physically challenged participants were there. They were on the starting point for the 100 meters dash. And the gun went off and they began to run. Unfortunately, as they were running, one boy fumbled, fell down and was crying. The others had already moved a little, and then they heard this boy crying. Some of them turned back, and then coming to this boy, one girl with a Down syndrome, it is said, she bent, kissed this boy and said, "This will make it better." And then they took him and they stood up, arm in arm, shoulder to shoulder. They marched steadily towards the finishing point. And then by the time these people reached the end, everyone in the stands, in the gallery, was standing and cheering, some with tears rushing down their faces. This is a story Dr. Kalam told me. For various reasons, because one of the reasons being, we were working on mentally challenged children, special children. And now this lesson was paramount for him, even though by turning back and helping the boy who fell, they lost their own chance to win the race. They all had smiles on their faces because they knew that they had done the right thing. They had done the right thing. Dr. Kalam had this sort of a smile always on his face because he was always doing the right things. He taught this concept to me. What matters in this life is more than winning for ourselves. What truly matters in this life is helping others win, even if it means slowing down and changing our course. When we make the other, the parent, win, we are winning. All of us are winning. As the quote goes, the best things in life, freedom, love, joy, and peace are best obtained by any guess? By giving them to the others. Dr. Kalam practiced this in his life. He made the others comfortable and happy, and therefore he became happy. Then let me tell you another story. This story also he has repeated multiple times, and he had even told me to say this story in the church where I serve the mass. He said this story. A woman came out of her house and saw 3 old men with long white beards sitting in her front yard. She did not recognize them, and she said, "Come in, you may be hungry, eat something." But then these elderly ones said, "No, is your husband in? She said, no, husband is not there. Then the wise man said, no, we will not enter now. Only when your husband is there, we will enter. And in the evening, Dr. Kalam says, the husband came, and then the lady told everything to the husband. And the husband said, no, why are you waiting? Go, invite them immediately. And the lady went out and invited those three elderly people. But those elderly people said like this. Possibly you would have heard this story. We are three persons: wealth, success, and love. But only one of us will enter your home. You can choose. Whom do you want? This lady went back to her home, discussed with her husband, and husband said, okay, in that case, let us invite wealth. But then this lady said, why wealth? Let us invite success. And there was a discussion. Hearing this, their daughter came, and daughter said, no, I feel it is better to invite love. It will be very nice. Finally, they decided to invite love to their home. And then lady went out and asked them, who of you is love? And one man said, I am. Then she said, you are welcome. You are invited. And then woman was going, but she saw that not only this love is coming, but the other three were also coming. Curious, surprised, the lady asked, hello, wealth and success, I did not invite you. Then they said, if you had invited wealth or success, the other two of us would have stayed out. But since you have invited love, wherever he goes, we also go with him. Wherever love is, there is wealth and success too. This is a lesson which Dr. Kalam believed and practiced. Unselfish love alone can find success at the end. All the other things will vanish. Religions may say all these things, but fail to practice. He was one who was above religions and was with the humans. Let me say a few words about his character, his integrity. He had integrity of character. So he could integrate the human minds. He could energize the human minds. He could inspire them. He could ignite them. He could ignite them to be indomitable. And he could award them wings of fire. That was Dr. Kalam. By his integrity, he could integrate. He had won over the desires of his own body and mind, for sure. Dr. Sahasrabudhe was saying that. So he could win the minds of others. He could win himself, and therefore he could win the other's mind too. Victory over oneself is the greatest victory in the world. Lesson for us: win over oneself, and then we can win everybody else, entire the world too. He was a pure vegetarian, a bachelor throughout, completely disciplined, completely committed to the nation, workaholic to the core, altruistic in nature. And thus, he had completely won his own self, and so he could win everyone around. He was such a magnetic presence. He was a cementing force. He was an integrating magic among people of different languages, different cultures, creeds, and even political affiliations. I repeat, he was above religion, and he was completely with humans, being completely humane. This is the Dr. Kalam I know very well. I'm going to share one or two incidents, my experiences there in Anna University when he was not at the president. He was designated to be the president, and therefore a lot of people were coming to meet him. And one day, as he entered the office, the first thing he said was this: "There is a lady at the end of the queue. Call her first. She is weeping. She is crying there. Call her first." See the humane attitude. The one who is crying, he was sympathetic and empathetic with. I will tell you a story after he became the president. I was there in Anna University, Chennai. And one day by around 10 o'clock in the morning, I got a call from Dr. Kalam. And he said, "Father, I want 2 pages of write-up summary of our project in 30 minutes. I said, yes. Unfortunately, I was not in my office room. I was there in the campus somewhere, and I was coming back to my room to do this work. But before I reached the room, I found a man. He was blind and limping. And this man asked for my help. He said, "I want to go to the Alagappa college there, and that is, I should say, around 400 meters from that place." And he wanted my help. I was in a dilemma. Dr. Kalam had asked me for a write-up in 30 minutes, and this man needs a help. And this will definitely take at least 30 minutes because this man was walking very slow and he was blind. So finally, I decided to help this man. I held his hand, and step by step, he was moving. And we went all the way to Alagappa College. And then, leaving him there, I came back to my room. By the time I got the call from Dr. Kalam, "Hello, Father, is that ready?" It was already 30 minutes over. I was afraid. I did not know what to say, but I told him, "Sir, I met a person who wanted my help like this." I explained the case. And then I thought he would get angry with me. Dr. Kalam said, "Father, in that case, please don't cut the call. Hold on." He went to some room inside there and then came back, and he began to narrate. He began to dictate some words, some poem. And that was like this: "If I can stop one heart from breaking, I shall not live in vain. If I can ease one life the aching, or cool one pain, or help one fainting robin unto his nest again, I shall not live in vain." These words he repeated over the phone, and multiple times it was not clear. And I said, "No, sorry, please repeat." And he did. Patiently he did. He was the president of India. From Rashtrapati Bhavan, he was telling all these things. Instead of scolding me, instead of finding fault with me, he was consoling me and congratulating me by giving this poem to me over the phone. Dr. Kalam had a big heart, a heart empathizing with the others. One more incident. I mean, the way, the art of his winning anything and everything is by his heart. We were on a morning walk in the Anna University campus. As we were walking, suddenly Dr. Kalam patted at my shoulder and said, "Father, stop. Look at that. Look at that." And then I saw there was a man limping. And then Dr. Kalam said, "Father, we should remove their pain. We should remove their pain." Multiple times he said this same sentence: "Father, we should remove their pain. We should make them comfortable." He has made me comfortable multiple times. And this art of his heart won everything. And this technique definitely, I am sure, will win our endeavors too. As an entire nation, one nation, India, if we are ready to help each other, if we are ready to energize each other, then success will be ours. Let me share one more story of Dr. Kalam in Rashtrapati Bhavan. I was in the Rashtrapati Bhavan one day because he had called me to discuss something about our project. And then we were going for a morning walk in the Mughal gardens. Suddenly, Dr. Kalam said, Father, stop. Look at that. Look at, there was a peacock. And he said, look at that peacock. And he's asked me, how do you, what do you see there? I said, a peacock, nothing special about it. And then Dr. Kalam said, you wait, you wait. And then after a few seconds, this peacock moved. And as it moved, it was clear that it had a bandage on one of its legs. And Dr. Kalam said, it had a wound, it was hurt in its leg. And therefore, I made arrangements for it to be treated. This is Dr. Kalam, whether it is human being or an animal, he was there to sympathize and empathize with. I am so lucky to have been his student for a long time. He said, low aim is the cry. Low aim is the cry. As Dr. Sahasrabudhe said, he considered the entire world as one family, Vasudhaiva Kudumbakam. He lived up to that. One day, when he was in the Anna University before becoming the president, and we had just started our project work, and maybe 2 or 3 weeks into our working together, one day, he just asked me, Father, the whole world is ours, isn't it? I did not understand what he was saying. And then he repeated, the whole world is ours, isn't it, Father? I did not know what to say. And a third time he repeated, the whole world is ours, isn't it, Father? And then, knowing not what I am saying, I said, yes, sir. Then, after a week, I came to know that Dr. Kalam was a bachelor, unmarried person, completely dedicating his life to the nation. And for such a person, having nothing for oneself, everything given to the entire world, he can definitely think of the entire world as his, as ours. And this was the heart of Dr. Kalam. He was above religion, above language, above culture, above party, and so on. Vasudhaiva Kudumbakam, entire world is ours. And no wonder why many countries, many universities conferred honorary PhDs on him. He has got 48 honorary PhDs. That means he was accepted by everyone wholeheartedly. In chapter 12, he underlines to shake off the lethargy of the Indians. We all think that our India is not great. We all think that nothing will happen. He says, shake off that lethargy, shake off that negative attitude, especially the negative attitude of the press and the communication media. Find the positive side and propagate. And this positive side, he was always adhering to. Whenever I write something and submit to him, or whenever the other people do something and tell him, his characteristic expression will be fantastic, I say. Fantastic. And then I said, he was there to find the positive aspects of everything. I still remember in Hyderabad, we had a meeting of many doctors, neuroscientists regarding our project work. And we were presenting the project. And then some doctors said, oh, we don't think this is possible. There are this difficulty, this constraint is there, that problem is there, they were saying. But then Dr. Kalam said, tell me of the possibilities, not of the impossibilities. He was there to find out the possibilities, to find out the positive sides. And he had a big heart to accept everything together. And now, let me say, using this big heart, how exactly he thought can we become a great nation, a developed nation? He had his own idea about becoming a real developed nation. I tell you another incident. I was there in Anna University teaching. I was in a class of practical computers, practical class. There were about 64 students in the class. And then around 10:30 in the morning, I got a call from Dr. Kalam. And he said, Father, how are you? What are you doing? I said, I am in a class. Dr. Kalam immediately said, no, 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 in that case, I will call you later. I said, no, sir, President of India, you can talk to me right now, I am here. And he said he needed something about the project immediately. But then after talking about the project, he told me, Father, because you are with the students, let me ask you a question. Do you know what is the most important resource any country ever can have? What do you think? I thought multiple things, and I said multiple answers, and he was not ready to accept those answers. And finally, he said this answer: enlightened minds of the youth is the most important resource any country ever can have. And having said this, he told me, Father, now, because the students are there in front of you, you say this to the students. And then I said this to the students. I told the students, hello, sir, hello, students. Dr. Kalam, the president, is online, and he has just told me this thing. And let me share you. I said, Dr. Kalam says, the enlightened minds is the most important resource any country ever can have. But Dr. Kalam immediately intervened and said, no, Father, you made a mistake. Do you know what was the mistake? I made a mistake. I said only enlightened minds. But he said enlightened minds of the youth. Enlightened minds of the youth make a difference. I know at the age of 40, at the age of 50, at the age of 60, we all get enlightenment, much, much better enlightenment. But the time is up. It does not make a lot of use. On the other hand, like our Vivekananda, Swami Vivekananda, or Mother Teresa, or some other great social service, Gandhiji and so on, if we are enlightened at the age of 15, wonders are awaited. Definitely, India will grow. He wanted everyone to be enlightened. I'm sure he was enlightened. He had a big heart and big brain, and he wanted everyone to be enlightened. Am I audible there? Here is a power failure.
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Okay, fine. Now, he tells this one. In that book, chapter 12 especially, he says, no one will do charity for us. Even the brothers will hate a poor one. And if that is the case, the countries in the world, they will not be merciful to us. They will not show charity towards us. Rather, it is highly possible that they will betray us, they will cheat us, and they will exploit us. He says there is no free lunch, and therefore we will have to sweat. Multiple times Dr. Kalam said the same thing to me. Father, you will have to sweat. We will have to sweat so that our country shall grow, shall be developed. I remember in Anna University, there is this sentence, discipline makes a nation great. Dr. Kalam was disciplined to the core, and he could make this entire nation great. Let me say, one idea he had said to me for my project work and is extensively discussed in this chapter 12 is PURA, Programmed Urbanization of Rural Areas. Connectivity with the cities and the villages around, whereby educational, healthcare, recreational, and so on, all facilities are made available in the villages too. And another dream of his was river linking in India. Think big and aim high. That was his method. Think big, dream, and then do accordingly. And as the chapter 12 says, if and only if we are aiming too high, we may be able to reach at heights. As the saying goes, only if we are aiming at the sky, we may be able to reach the treetop. And therefore, he says very clearly, if we are now aiming to become like the developed countries like as US and China or Russia now, then by the time we reach at that point, those countries would have gone too many miles ahead. Therefore, we should aim still far ahead of these developed countries now, and then plan work accordingly. dream, and this dream will translate into action. He was workaholic. Dr. Kalam was workaholic. He was not just a daydreamer. And as he says, dream is that which does not allow you to sleep. I'm going to tell one or two experiences of myself with Dr. Kalam. One day, I was asked to meet him in the Rashtrapati Bhavan. I went there. By around 11 o'clock, I reached Rashtrapati Bhavan in the night. And by about 12 o'clock, I was asked to meet him in his personal study room. And there he was working. There was a lot of papers. A deck of papers were there. He was reading each paper and taking action on that, putting it in this tray or that tray for further action. And then as I came there, he began to ask about my project work and its development and so on. And then it was going on in a parallel programming style. And then by about 1 o'clock, I just asked Dr. Kalam, sir, when will you stop working on these papers? Pat came the reply. He said, when this is over. That was a big deck of papers, and that means it definitely would have taken him at least up to 3 o'clock or 3:30 in the night. But that was he, workaholic. And another day, I remember, in the Rashtrapati Bhavan again, we were all discussing something. At 1:30 in the night, he suddenly got up and said, oh, all of you have got your dinner, supper, and then let me have my supper. He went off. At 1:30, he is going for supper. That is the way he was working. And he was workaholic till death. And that is a curious coincidence. He died while working, while talking, while teaching, while doing his duty, dying, doing duty. So beautiful it is, a saintly death, I should say. In his chapter, in this chapter 12, he is asking for people who are working more and more, contributing more and more. He wanted, the chapter 12 says, we want Punyatmas, Punya Netas, and Punya Gurus. I'm just going to elaborate a little on this Punyatmas, Punya Gurus, and Punya Netas. Dedicated, committed persons are required. This book deals about these heroic acts of Indians in the Taj hotel attack. They say none of the Taj employees left the hotel when it was attacked, though they had enough chance to flee, run away, escape from the hotel, but they did not. And the reason was, they say, this Taj hotel people, they were not looking for students who have the highest grades, highest brains, but they were actually recruiting for personal characteristics, most specifically respect and empathy. Respect and empathy, empathy for the others, respect for the others. And such people can work wonders. They can make a developed nation. Gandhiji was fasting on when there was this Hindu-Muslim problems, riots and so on. He was fasting, and then Dr. Kalam has told me personally, when we were going for a walk, he said, Father, do you know, when India got independence and when the Nehru cabinet took oaths, all the papers were having lots of pictures, photos of Nehru cabinet ministers taking oath and so on. But in that paper, at the end, at the last page, at one corner, there was a small photo. Gandhiji fasting at the site of Hindu-Muslim riots. And Kalamji says, it was that which I was attracted most. He was empathetic. He wanted everybody to be comfortable. And therefore, Dr. Kalam, he was a big heart, and that is why he could lead us to development. Any decay and any development is generally from within. From outside, decay cannot be imposed. From outside, development cannot be imposed. The Roman Empire and many other empires decayed because of the problems from within. Whereas development also shall be only having can come only from within. The Japanese, the Germans, the Israelites, they can grow because they have got that passion for the nation. They are proud of their nations. And same way, Dr. Kalam is inspiring us with the pride for the nation and a desire to work for the nation. When there is empathy, we can work wonders. He says the nuclear energy field, software field, food grains field are some of the most important fields where we can make strides. But there are generally problems like the government, the bureaucracy, and also on the red tapeism, delaying tactics. But we should be able to overcome all these things. He is advising government or bureaucracy or contractors or gurus or whichever type of persons are how to overcome, how to make it easy for India to progress. Generally, the book says government announces projects and there is a big thunder in the press and in the media, but afterwards nothing happens. That should not be the case. We should follow up everything. And the youngsters, they are ready to take up new thoughts and new thought patterns. And therefore, his advice to the parents, teachers, and other leaders is not to douse the spirit of the youngsters. Do something. There may be failures, but there will be successes also only when we do something. The crux of chapter 12, if I say, is like this: do not underestimate our own country. Be proud of being an Indian and do accordingly. Each one should contribute at least 10% more in time and effort to India. Break the vicious circle of the blame game, looking down and fail. Break the vicious circle of too much of checks and balances and nothing happening. PSUs, MNCs, government, NGOs, medias, gurus, and all these people do something more, some more time, and some more their mind and energy, and then we will be developed. I don't know how many more minutes I am allowed to. I don't know the time limit. Okay. Okay, then I continue. There were great leaders of this Maratha state: Vinoba Bhave, Dondo Keshav Karve, Baba Saheb Ambedkar, Vinayak Damodar Savarkar, Mahatma Jyotiba Phule, Nanaji Deshmukh, Sindhuthai Sapkal, Baba Amte, and so on and so forth. And now I should say this Kadu, the principal of this college, having this initiative to work for the inspiration of youths according to the lines of Dr. Kalam. These are great people. There are great Indian luminaries. They are the light for us. And then I'm not going to dwell on that. There are great inspiring stories in India. The press, he says, focus on such positive stories of India. A few of this, I would like to share these slides. How do I share this now? They should give us permission. I'm trying to share this. Am I getting the permission?
Sir, I was having a question in this line, whatever you said right now.
Okay.
So can I ask? Or...
Okay. By the way, am I getting a sharing right?
Brother,
Or
sorry
am I
to
to stop
interrupt
now?
in between.
Okay, ठीक है.
We have a question from Nirupam. He wants to
Okay,
ask
ठीक है,
something.
ठीक है.
Nirupam, you can go ahead.
Yeah, so sir, you said in lines of Kalam we can progress, but as we can see that we are not progressing in that way. So you have a vast experience in living with him. So what do you think that his ideology, how we should follow his ideology, and how the youths of this kind can follow his ideology right now in the right present age? Because we are not at that kind of following his ideology, because if we were, we have achieved India 2020. That was my question.
That's right. We have not yet achieved this India 2020 vision, developed India even now. I say Dr. Kalam and some of the persons I was just mentioning, they are like the bubbles happening in a boiling water. When the water starts to boil, there may be some bubbles here and there. They are energy bubbles. And then after a while, these bubbles increase. And only when this come to a sort of a critical mass, a critical number, that the other people also will join the stream. If there is only one energy bubble, then that will not be able to convert everything to boiling state or energized state. There should be multiple people joining. And that is why Dr. Kalam is exhorting everyone to follow, think big of this nation and start doing something. And if we just stand alone and watch everything passively, then no growth is going to happen. Obviously, he says act, dream and act. If you don't act, we are not going to reach anywhere. Okay. Am I sharing now?
Nirupam, are you there on the call?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
Okay, I hope you got the answer to your question.
Yes, ma'am, I got my answer.
Okay. I would again request the other participants as well. If they have any questions, they can just raise their hand. We will help them unmute and they can go ahead.
Yeah. Is anyone from CCI going to ask anything?
If anyone wants to ask the other experts also, they can.
If no one has a question, I have a question to two of the expert, one from medical side and one from material sciences side. The question maybe to Avinash sir or maybe to Dr. Abhay sir. Now, in a paradigm shift in material technology, wherein we are talking about nanotechnology using materials of lightweight to improve the performance of mechanical system, or maybe in health science also, using smart materials for manufacturing, one. And secondly, like with reference to the dental sciences or Dr. Abhay's, Ms. Datarkar's expertise, what are these materials? How we should proceed and plan for 2035, the next developmental team? And then what are the opportunities to the youth of this nation with reference to one research? Secondly, for job opportunities. My question is to both of the experts.
Is it now audible? Am I audible now?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir, you're audible.
Yeah. Now, the situation, what you said is correct. That what are the types of materials expected by 2030, 35? I would say one of the material which is going to change the world and revolutionize as the time goes is one is your graphene type of materials. The one which was invented somewhere around 2010. And if you look at this material, which is developing after 2015, is going to, as on today, it costs, it's very high. Nanotechnology material, what we call as graphene material, it's around $1,000. But by tomorrow, with the technology development, it will become one of the most important material for the future, as I think. And at the same time, the nano steel materials, I can find out that nanosteels, they range with different mechanical properties, ranging from average structural component in the automotive sector to a very specialized material that is high strength as well as high modulus as well as high elongation values. So it has a good ductility, it has a good strength, it has good toughness also. So such type of materials are coming up very fast. If I tell you nanotechnology over the last maximum 1 decade time has got more than hundreds of patents being launched in the market. And the graphene is another material. And as you rightly said, the manless vehicles are on the road, which are coming up. They use various sensors and actuators with different shape memory alloys or the rheological materials, and which senses the pressure, which senses the temperature, which senses the motion, and so on. So this is going to be a revolutionary material, and for the young generations, I would say this is one of the great area where we must go, and young engineers to bring this technology to make in India, make as our developed country is one of the thing. And materials is one of the neglected, I would say, one of the area comparatively as compared to other engineering industries, and where the growth and development is very important. Am I answered to your question? Is that okay? My answer?
I guess Kalu sir
Application
is
means,
facing
if you are
some.
asking me application, it goes from conventional material requirement. Even some there was, if you go through my our presentation, there is a one video which I cannot show you because of time. 10 minutes it is required to be run. It is on graphene. It will tell you one of the most important for India development. One is that it is shown in that slide.
Shaili ma'am?
A very important last
Yes.
presentation of that last 1 minute tells you about you
Ma'am,
can
we
make
have
graphene material at the
Vanjari sir with us.
Okay.
okay. And
Okay.
second thing that can be used for the seawater conversion to drinkable water. I think where
Um,
we have the problems of drinking water, this is a good application. Yeah.
yes. Thank you, sir. So, thank you, Father George, also for sharing your experiences working with Kalam, sir. It was great listening to the stories and the experience that you have got from him. Thank you so much. So, now that we have Honorable Advocate Abhijit Vanjari with us, so I am delighted to introduce him as an expert today, who is going to deliver an expert talk on the topic India Beyond 2020 Challenges and Opportunities. Uh, I hope I'm audible, Nirupam.
Hello.
Yes, yes, sir.
Sally, there is a connectivity problem from the side of Honorable Chief Guest Abhijit Vanjari. He is in Gadchiroli,
Okay,
tribal area, and he is finding difficulty to join. Just proceed ahead with the if there are some questions, then take question, and otherwise proceed for concluding remark and for further proceeding.
sure, sir. All right, sir. So I just observed that Abhishek Kewati from the participants was he was raising his
Yes,
hand.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. He has a question. I will unmute him.
Sure. Okay.
So am I audible?
You can ask your question. Yes, yes, Abhishek, you are audible.
Yes. So actually, my question is to all of experts available right now. So my question is basically that I belongs to the engineering field, but myself I don't have enough knowledge to regulate the innovative idea or the entrepreneurship things. So how could each and every student or the each and every participant present here could get that knowledge easily and availability? Like I would like to say, uh, a lot of engineering students do not have that enough knowledge to develop some innovative things, and they stop their idea over there. Or a lot of people have the startup idea also, so they regret also that lack of knowledge or the lack of lot of things. So how could get that knowledge at the local of state? like every student will get that thing and do start their own thing by selfly. Am I audible or not actually? Hello.
Yes, Abhishek, you're audible.
So that's it actually my question. So
Is there anyone answering?
Sir, your Avinash, sir, your mic is mute. Please unmute it. Avinash, sir, your mic is unmute. Mute you. You have to unmute it. Otherwise, other expert can.
Okay, is it audible?
Yes, yes.
We talk about the materials and future, where entrepreneurship with doing very small job works, friendly materials are possible in our country. For example, in the rural types of fiber technologies available like banana fibers and coconut fibers and jute fibers and so on, where we particularly also engineering applications like for the automotive sector. For example, the jute material composites can very subject. Then if you use your innovative and creative ideas to convert that into a practical commercial purposes, I think the entrepreneur will be built up within itself without having no. Can also answer on the
Yes, his
subject.
voice is breaking. Actually, Abhishek, I can continue with the answer. If you have some innovative idea and you have to make like a business out of that or making the idea into a product, then there are incubation center like CCI, Center for Creative Innovation, is going at incubation center. To my college, Aba Gaikwad Patil College of Engineering, we are having incubation center. There are 15 different incubation centers in Nagpur, and throughout India, there are so many incubation centers. There are some like venture capitalists. If you have an idea, prepare proper report, send this report to these people. They will fund for this idea. Incubation center means your idea will be nurtured through academical perspective as well as for technological perspective, and then as well with respect to financial perspective also. क्या अभिषेक आपको आंसर मिला? अभिषेक आपको आंसर मिला है?
So just a second.
hello
Abhishek,
sir.
you can respond now. Yes, yes.
Yes. Actually, I got my answer, but hello, am I audible?
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Can I,
Yes,
sir?
yes, sure.
So actually, I got my answer, and right now I'm working with the some of startup founder with like another startup founder. They guide me for that thing. But before that, I have arranged lot of calls to get them. I have tried to get them. I try to convince them like we are working on this. Please guide us like that. So it takes me to almost 3 months. I Google some of people. I all like that. So how will get that things each and everyone at that local stage, like everyone get that thing that I have used to suppose that 3 months time. So every participant should get that time into one day or like 1 month at least like that. So they will not have to waste that time at that mindset.
Abhishek,
So how
like
could we can localize that thing also?
I will answer. Getting
Yeah.
everything suddenly, it's present youth choice. But if you want to do something great, then it requires its own stage. Even if you come to us and then we will approve your idea in one day, but it is not like the kind of thing which will work as you think. In one day, no investor, no incubation center will approve the idea. There is a process. Let it be at government process. Let it be at the private incubation, like you said, 3 months. You got the people. It means there are good people available in the market. You search in Google. It's the right process. We say it as a literature review. You, and if you go by this way, it is a standard process. No need like even if we nobody can approve the idea in one day. Like Dr. George will definitely answer to this question. How much time you, Dr. George, get to convince Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam to be a PhD guide?
Actually, meeting Dr. Kalam, am I audible? Yes, I hope.
Yes.
Meeting Dr. Kalam, I had to wait for 3 hours on that day. And then after meeting him, he did not give a word. He said, we will talk at length. And he said he was going to Bangalore and will be coming back after 10 days. And he asked me to come back after 10 days. After 10 days, then I sent an email and then I met him. Then he initially said, I don't think I have got enough time for that. Then I said, sir, if you do not have time, I have got a lot of time. Then he said, how? You will have to look after your parents, he asked. Then I said, no, I'm a priest and in my home there are 9+1 and so on. Then only he was thinking of, okay, maybe this person can spend some time. It took another 5 or 7 days for him to finally give me an answer that he is ready to guide my project, which means it was around 20 days for a final answer from him.
Abhishek, you got the time, got the answer. If you're doing something great, then believe in time. Definitely, the patients will pay. Like you take any example, right? From Newton to Dr. Kalam. Kalam dreamed to be an aeronautical engineer when he was in 8th standard. He cannot fly the aeroplane. Yeah, but he become an aerospace engineer. He cannot be a pilot. You have to wait, and then this process absolutely you can get mentor within one day, but putting innovative project into a product will take time. Believe in time. That's what I say. My side. Any question? Any more question?
Provided you have got an indomitable spirit, then whether it is time or space, you will be able to conquer. That is what I feel.
Very true, Father George. Any more question from any audience?
Can we have one more question or are we to conclude?
No, we can. Yes, please ask if
Okay, ma'am.
anyone has.
Okay.
If no one is there,
You can.
Yeah, thank you so much,
I want to
Rishikesh.
ask a question.
Yes, thank you so much.
Welcome.
My question was open to all the panelists. It is basically on mental health, and as we are going through a pandemic situation in India and all over globe, so my question is, it is a thing which has like people are really making uh, attention to, and in India there are less people who actually take this into consideration. So what can we as a youth do towards this mental health awareness? Thank you so much.
Is anybody answering that?
Father, you answer.
And I feel it like this. Say there is no magic in this world. Just as I said, there is no free lunch in this world. There is no magic also in this world. Everybody will have to sweat. Obviously, when there are problems, there are difficulties, and our mental health is possibly affected. But unless and until we are there ready to obey the government rules and regulations, we are going to make the pandemic still more worse. And obviously, in this time, you have got a lot of connectivity by internet, and you can reach any expert in that field and get counseling and remedies. Obviously, we will have to face this, and then only we'll be able to grow. If you say there is a problem, I am tired, I am losing all my spirits, and therefore I am going to withdraw into my shell, nothing is going to happen. I remember the way Dr. Kalam shares his experience in MIT. He was asked to draw the design of the aeroplane, and then the whatever he had written drawn, the teacher did not accept, and he was told draw it in 1 day's time. And day and night he was drawing, redrawing everything. There are difficulties like this, and we will have to suffer all these difficulties. There is no magic, there is no free lunch, there is no shortcut.
I hope, Sarah, that answers your question.
I may like to add only one or two sentences of Dr. Abdul Kalam. One is that you must have an enough discipline with yourself, which he said. And number two is a patience. Your own patience you have to develop more, because you cannot win everything within one night. So you have to have a good patience. You must have a good confidence in yourself, and also you should be able to take your everything into a right spirit. Then only you can do so. So in pandemic situation, really speaking, patience is required, discipline is required, which is the most important, and that is where we lack today, because we lose our temperament and we lose our discipline. So there we need to improve ourselves. Yeah.
Thank you, sir and father, for guiding Sarah. Uh, Now, moving towards the concluding remark, I would like to request Honorable Dr. Prashant Karu sir to please give the concluding remark for today.
It is really a great day for we all team members of CCI Center for Creativity Innovation. To just formally conclude the thing, I have no words, because we have not dreamed like this book we can complete in 3 days. But because of the support of so many people, we have covered all topics. In first day, we had three expert lectures on chapter number 1, 2, 3. On first chapter, can India become a developed country? Second chapter, what other countries envision for themselves. These two chapters were taken by Professor Sanjay Khadakar, and he explained about how we can be a developed country with respect to economy, with respect to human resource, and he also compare India with respect to the other countries like Malaysia, Japan, other neighboring countries, and how we should go ahead as envisioned by Dr. Kalam, and he put forward his vision how to prepare ourselves accordingly. Next lecture, expert talk by Dr. K.C. on evolution of technology, Vision 2020. It was very well explained on the first day by Dr. Ora. Next was fourth chapter on food, agriculture, and processing. I suppose all the participants who are there, I see from first day there are some consistent participation. They got every essence of this book fantastically, and let us hope with this first day's lecture you can continue making your own dream in parallel with, in accordance with, in line with the personal dream, so that your dream will go with the nation's dream and our country will be a developed nation. This was all first day. Second day, we had a great talk by AICT chairman, Honorable Professor Anil Sahasrabudhe. He talked on all overview and then how to make the dream India 2020 possible by taking help of education those like through education system. Then about chapter number 7 and 8, Dr. Atul Thackeray spoke a lot about manufacturing for the future. This is chapter number 7. And on chapter number 8, services as people's wealth. India is 135 plus population, and then how to utilize this population. This has been very well covered by Professor Dilip Malkhede. And again, from day 2, I suppose all the participants have got a vision which Kalam has envisioned. And you try to assimilate the thought of Kalam, though it is 2020, though 2020 is going, but it will help us to make your vision in line with the country. Let us make intellectual efforts to connect with the country, not by like emotional connect. Third day, today, we had a great talk on materials and the future by Avinash sir. And he gone depth. I suppose this time is very less for him. Definitely, Avinash sir, we will keep your separate lecture, and then my emphasis as at Center for Creativity and Innovation is to nurture spirit of creativity and innovation among the youngsters of the nation. For this, like especially, I would like to arrange a separate talk. I know this time was less, but our intention was to just remind the messages given by Dr. Kalam in this book, because we were having fear that this book will be absolute by 31st December 2020. But we don't want this book should be absolute after 2020. It has a relevance, and that to create the awareness about the relevance, we have organized this grand finale. Later on, we will organize separate talk. And next talk to help for all, Dr. Abhay Datarkar, the very renowned, I say teacher, medical science teacher. His teaching reflected in his presentation. He covered every aspect about public health, and then even he talked about Kalam's real vision of transferring technology towards medical sciences also. I remind his one of the thing which is written in Wings of Fire. He used the lightweight materials used in missiles for making the caliper for the polio patient. That make him a great person. There are so many scientists, ISRO, DRDO, but taking technology for the masses, thinking of technology for grassroots development, that is what connected people with the Kalam. That is what he make that is what he become a great nation, a great leader. And yeah, Dr. Abhay Datarkar spoke about the other applications also about development of stent in association with DRDO when he was there at DRDO. All these are explained by Dr. Datarkar. Sir, would like to continue your deliberations for like collaborating with NGO. We as a NGO, Center for Creativity and Vidarbhut Organization, even my college, group of college, Gaikwad Patil Group of Institution will like to associate with you for any kind of like NGO initiatives for transferring technology to the rural masses or to the common people, may be related with cancer or may be related to any disease. We will definitely do it happily, sir. Lastly, the person who got a maximum time, and Father George, we are fortunate to hear you just like we are listening from APJ Kalam. Because my intention was to bring on dais anybody else, like I spoke to you when I met you, to bring on call Professor Y.S. Rajan or the co-author of
Arun Tiwari.
Wings of Fire, Dr. Mr. Tiwari or Pillai. We talked to you, but though they didn't came, but we are really blessed to talk, like listen to you, as if like we are listening stories from Kalam. Just continue blessings, blessing my team, me, and all youth of this nation, spreading the message of Kalam, of brotherhood. Like सबसे पहले humanity, we will work together and spread up. As you are a teacher, I am a teacher. We will work together in line with this is what a message that we got. Friends, with respect to chapter number 9 and 11, like strategic industries and the enabling infrastructure, most of the part is covered by the earlier author, but I will just throw light on infrastructure. Infrastructure, we are fantastically growing. Now we need to use advanced technology, what has been explained here. Let us come forward. About strategic industries, strategy doesn't, like we used to consider strategic industry means industry related with defense. But strategy means making plan to execute. Now Kalam said executing a developmental process is not referred to only protection from the neighboring countries from defense point of view. We need to fight within, rightly said by Abhay Datarkar sir. If we are healthy within by physical wealth, then we can we are on right direction of strategic development. If we produce agriculture produce properly, therein Kalam talked in this chapter how to strategically go with respect to agriculture, with respect to power, with respect to infrastructure. This is all about the summary of the book. We are ending 2020, and we all are fortunate. We are those who are on dais now. We all are fortunate that we have discussed a great book in these 3 days. It's like it's a knowledge series. Really, for me, it is a religious knowledge series. Religion means a way of life, and this book has taught us. I say to me and my team, Center for Creativity and Innovation, Kalam through this book has given a way of life, and we are living this at Center for Creativity and Innovation. We are nurturing the minds and trying to imbibe the spirit of creativity and innovations among all, to contribute little bit mindly. I urge to all the participants, first of all, let us progress your thought process. Make your thoughts sustainable, then only development can happen. Believe in your thoughts first, make positive thoughts, make progressive thoughts. If this 3 days could have done this, then definitely we say we have got something different. At last, on my personal behalf, though there will be official vote of thanks, personal behalf, I thank everyone, those who have contributed. We were really, I say it has happened because of Kalam's name. Otherwise, we could not have met all these great personalities through these 3 days. From the bottom of heart, I'm thankful to you all. I invite all the participants to join CCI's Mission Innovation Driven Society. Through different mode, we are working. We are working by establishing Mayor Innovation Council for finding solutions to the various problems of urban city. We are working with working under Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam's and Mahatma Gandhi Foundation, wherein we are working on Pura. You can join with us. There are so many initiatives are available. Be connected, friends. The very problem this country is facing is connecting, and connecting by minds. We are physically connected, we are connected by mobile. I will be happiest person as a founder of CCI if we all get connected mindly, thought process wise. Then only the real process of development will happen. Secondly, I will request all the experts to collaborate with Center for Creativity and Innovation and guide the members of as and when time permits to make the dream of Dr. Kalam feasible, that is ignited and enlighten young minds. That's what all. Thank you very much for being with us for 3 long days intellectually, and we will meet again with respect to some topic. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now I would like to request Ms. Pooja Pusadekar, the advisor of CCI, give the vote of thanks.
Good evening, everyone. I'm audible?
Yes.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Thanking is to strengthen the bond of relationship. On behalf of CCI, as an advisor, I, Pooja Pusdekar, take this opportunity to propose vote of thanks to those who have directly and indirectly contributed to this grand finale of a movement of Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam's Vision India 2020, organized by our organization CCI. Our sincere thanks to Honorable Minister for Youth Welfare, Government of Maharashtra, Sunil G. Kedar, for sparing time for motivating the participants on the first day of his inaugural address. I also thanks to Professor Anil Sahasrabudhe, Chairman AICT New Delhi, Dr. Sanjay Khadatkar, Professor Sri Shivaji College Akola, Dr. V.C. Ora, Senior Deputy Director and Head ARAI, Professor V.K. Vijay, National Coordinator, Unnat Bharat Abhiyan, New Delhi, Dr. Vilas S. Sabkal, ex-Vice Chancellor RTMNU, Nagpur, Professor Dilip Malkhade, Advisor AICT, New Delhi, Dr. Atul Thakre, Manager ARAI. Thank you, sir. We are very fortunate to with us. I would like to thank the expert speaker, Mr. Avinash Arankale, sir, Deputy Director, retired ARAI, for enlightening the participants with his knowledge and information about the chapter number 5, Material and the Future, from the book India 2020. Dr. Abhay Datarkar, sir, renowned maxillofacial surgeon, gave deep insights into healthcare topic. Thank you, sir. Dr. Father A.K. George, the first research scholar of Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, sir, and the Professor of Computer Science, S.V. Paleti College of Engineering, Nagpur, who got the guidance as his PhD student for a long time. And he relived many aspects of life of Dr. Kalam's. The grand finale was full of knowledge and interesting things. And we are fortunate to meet such a great personalities in this event. And this is possible because of our founder, Dr. Prashant Kadusra. His mission is to empower the youth spirit of quality consciousness. And he is working on mission innovation driven society. So thank you from the bottom of heart for motivating us for doing something innovative for involving youth in mainstream of development process based on the Kalam Sir's vision. He always say, for sustainable development of youth, foremost important things is good thought. And therefore, we have organized this program before beginning the new year 2021. Thank you, sir. Once again, I would like to thank all the guests of 3 days event for taking out time from their busy schedule and enlightening us and all participants with the knowledge of their. Thank you so much. This program couldn't be successful without involvement of participants who joins the program online through YouTube and Abdul Live. Thank you so much. A great thanks to whole team of CCI who worked hard through the year for organizing different activities in memory of Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam during the movement of Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam's Vision India 2020. Through we are a team, but we should acknowledge. Special thanks to Mr. Dinesh Rute, Advisor CCI, Mr. Rushikesh Kadu, CEO CCI, Mr. Nirupam Khadatkar, COO CCI, Mr. Shantanu Mungate, CTO CCI, Mr. Sushil Mohar, Head IT Cell CCI, for working hard day and night to make this event successful. Thanks to CCI member Tanmaya, Parth, Abhishek, Sara, and Radha. Thank you, Professor Saili Karale, for hosting this event. Thank you, Sushil DC sir, for managing technical side of online program conduction. Thanks to all support us directly and indirectly in taking the Vision India 2020 ahead. Thank you so much. Over to you, Saili.
Thank you, Pooja. Now I would like to invite everyone to recite the song for youth written by Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam sir. We will conclude the program by reciting this song. So I request everyone to please join with me and repeat after me.
Okay, Mr. Rishikesh, give rights of unmuting the mic to everyone while they recite. We are going to recite the song for youth as written by Dr. Kalam to get energy for new energy for the year 2021 and follow the path.
We all are ready. So I'll start. Yeah.
As a young citizen of India,
As a citizen of India,
Armed with technology,
Armed with technology,
armed with technology,
knowledge and love for my nation,
knowledge,
knowledge and love for my nation,
I
I realize
small aim is a crime.
small
small aim is a crime.
I will work and sweat
I will
I will work and sweat
and sweat
for a great vision,
for
for a great vision,
great vision.
vision of transforming
vision
vision
of
of transforming
India
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 developed nation,
into
into a developed nation,
Developed nation.
powered by economic strength,
powered by economic strength
Next strength.
And value.
and
I am one of the citizens
I am one
one of the citizen
of the billion.
of the million.
of the billion.
Only the vision will ignite
Only the vision will
The vision
ignite
will ignite
billion souls.
the billion
billion souls.
souls.
It has entered into me,
It has
It has entered into me,
the ignited soul,
the ignited
Ignited
compared to any resource,
Compared to
to
any
any
resource,
resource,
is the most powerful resource on this earth.
is the most
powerful
powerful
resource
resource
on
on
the
this
earth.
earth, in the world,
Above the earth and under the earth.
above
above the earth and under the earth.
I will keep the lamp of knowledge
lamp
Lamp of knowledge,
Knowledge burn,
burning to achieve the vision,
burning to
burning
achieve the vision,
the vision.
developed India.
developed
developed India.
India.
If we work and sweat for the great vision,
if
We
work
work,
and sweat
work and
Sweat
sweat for the great vision
with ignited minds,
with the
with ignited
ignited
minds,
minds.
the transformation leading to the birth,
the
the
transformation
transformation leading to the birth
To the boat,
vibrant, developed India,
of vibrant
of
developed
developed
India
India
Developed India
will happen.
will
will
happen.
happen.
I pray the Almighty,
I pray the
I
Almighty.
pray the
pray the
Almighty,
Almighty.
may the divine peace,
May
may the divine
Divine
peace
beauty
beauty
with
beauty
beauty
enter into our people,
enter
to our
Into
people,
our people,
happiness and good health
happiness
and
and
good
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 health,
health
health
blossom in our bodies,
blossom
blossom
some
in
in
our
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 body.
bodies,
bodies,
minds, and souls.
minds, and
minds,
souls.
and souls.
Thank you, everyone. Now, I would like to request all the panelists to on
एक
their
पाच
cameras for a group photo.
सर कॅमेरा थोडा ऍडजस्ट करून घ्या सगळ्यांचा फोटो काढायचा आय रिक्वेस्ट एव्हरी वन टू ऍडजस्ट द कॅमेरा सो दॅट वी कॅन हॅव अ ब्युटिफुल ग्रुप फोटो अविनाश सर प्लीज ऍडजस्ट द कॅमेरा
It's the maximum I can manage. Is it okay?
सर थोडं मागे होऊन जा इट्स ओके सर पर
Producer, can you please turn off and turn on your camera again?
इज इट ओके
Yes.
So, are we good, Rishikesh?
No, ma'am. Second. Shubham, could you please take pictures? I can't see some of their video feed.
Saili ma'am, your video feed is not, yeah, everyone's video feed is there. Just wait for a minute. I will take one more feed. Thank you. Pictures have been taken.
All right.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Father. Thank you, Avinash sir, for collaborating with us in this vision. Thank you, all participants.
But here I declare that with our third day of the grand finale of the movement for APJ Abdul Kalam's Vision India 2020. I request all the participants to please take up the quiz once the meeting ends. Thank you everyone for joining us this evening. Looking forward to your support and guidance in future also. At last, I wish everyone good health and success. Stay safe, stay healthy. Have a good evening ahead. Thank you.